I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
We will not negotiate with anyone over our country's weapon and defense.
That's Iran's president, defiant amid talk President Trump might this week decide to pull out of a nuclear agreement he has called a disaster. Britain is joining France and Germany, urging him not to. Fox's Simon Owen live in London.
Dave, another European government attempting to address President Trump's concerns.
The message we are hearing from all contacts in this administration is that a final decision hasn't yet been taken.
The British ambassador to the US, Kim Darroch, speaking to CBS's Face the Nation as British Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson flies to Washington for talks with Vice President Pence. Writing in the New York Times, Johnson says the Iran deal has weaknesses, but that every available alternative is worse. Dave?
Simon, in Russia, the president's been sworn in to yet another term. Vladimir Putin has been the president for 18 of the last 24 years. He's led Russia as prime minister in the other 6. In the Russia investigation, President Trump has repeatedly called a witch hunt. One of his attorneys, Rudy Giuliani, tells ABC's This Week he won't rule out President Trump invoking a Fifth Amendment right not to answer questions from the special counsel.
Hillary Clinton treatment is what I'm looking for, and that is no under oath, only a Q&A, and then we get the questions in advance, and they write the report 2 weeks before.
A sheriff's deputy is in critical condition in Highlands County, Florida, after being shot in the head last night.
They were responding to a complaint that a neighbor had shot another neighbor's cat. The sheriff says Deputy Gentry left his training officer with the neighbor who called police, and then he went to the door of the man who had allegedly shot the cat.
And that's when the gunfire occurred. Kelly Cowan with Fox 13 TV. The suspected shooter's in custody. Fox News. Fair and balanced.
Some clouds this early morning. We have 47 degrees. 5:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Firefighters are battling a blaze on Chicago's west side this morning. The fire broke out early in a vacant building in the 4700 block of West Gladys. No reports of any injuries at this time. Chicago's Mount Sinai Hospital this morning dealing with major security concerns. It follows a drive-by shooting over the weekend. Police this morning are on scene as 2 women were wounded Saturday night. Someone in a dark-colored vehicle shot them outside of the West Side Hospital. Victims were gathered with a group of others who went to Mount Sinai to visit a relative who had been shot earlier in the day. No one is in custody after a 12-year-old boy and a man were shot over the weekend on Chicago's West Side. Police say the shooting happened Saturday night after a man arguing with a woman fired a gun into a crowd of people near Madison and Spaulding. The younger victim remains hospitalized in critical condition. An investigation is underway following a blaze that killed an elderly couple in DeKalb County. Authorities say a house and a barn caught fire early yesterday in the 3300 block of Gurler Road in Malta. William and Marjorie Creda were found dead inside that home. The pair lived in that house for several years. Charges pending following a deadly hit-and-run crash on an Eisenhower Expressway exit ramp on Chicago's west side. State police tell us the vehicle took off after running into 5 men who were walking up the Holman Avenue exit ramp yesterday. A man was pronounced dead at the scene while the other 4 victims remain hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. The driver was later taken into custody. Loved ones and hardened political types alike are remembering a trailblazer in Chicago politics. The reaction comes following the death of former Chicago Alderman Wilson Frost. The 92-year-old died Saturday in California. He was a key African-American figure in the city council from 1967 to 1987. The Democrat is known for declaring himself the city's acting mayor when Richard J. Daley died in 1976. Ultimately, he was named chairman of the Finance Committee. After leaving the city council, he was a longtime member of the Property Tax Appeals Board. Suburban Chicago man is in hot water after police say he fired a real gun at a teen who they say shot paintballs at him. Aurora police say Malcolm Wheeler is facing charges for the shooting. It happened last week. Officers say an 18-year-old fired the paintball gun at Wheeler while he was walking his dog. Police say Wheeler then went and got his own gun and tracked down the teen, fired shot. Gas prices across the state are flat. That does not mean gas is cheap. The reporters at GasBuddy.com say the average price for a gallon of regular in the state is $2.90, the same as last week. Lowest price in the state, according to Gas Buddy, is $2.54 a gallon near Bloomington. Right as finals hit, expect the mumps on campus at Western Illinois University to increase. The Department of Public Health confirming one case of the illness. WIU and the Department of Health warning other students to be on the lookout for mump-like symptoms. Health managers say colleges and universities, especially this time of year, are susceptible to mumps cases. Chicago's culinary community mourning the passing of a local chef, Judson Allen. Culinary lead of Taste 222 in the West Loop grew up on the South Side. He was a finalist in Season 8 of the Food Network's The Next Food Network Star.
This is my chance to really make an impression on the Food Network. I'm going to give them a little piece of me by giving them some Mardi Gras beads.
Allen died Saturday at age 36 from an apparent heart attack. University of Georgia linebacker and Bears first-round draft pick Roquan Smith had a Bulldog jersey and helmet stolen from his car in Athens, Georgia, along with a Rose Bowl and National Championship game jersey. Maybe the most important thing that was taken from that car, an iPad with plays that belonged to the Chicago Bears, along with Bears shoes and other valuables. First-round draft picks in a bit of hot water this morning. Here in Illinois, at least one Mercer County board member wants to make the county the latest sanctuary for gun owners. Brian Ansiaw telling county leaders last week he wants to join 4 other Illinois counties protecting local gun owners from overreach from state lawmakers in Springfield. Ansiaw says his proposal is still in the works, but it will be similar to one that passed earlier this spring in Effingham County. Dexter Fowler connects for a 2-run walk-off blast in the bottom of the 14th. Give the Cardinals a 4-3 win over the Cubs at Busch. Max Kepler knocked in a go-ahead run in the 8th inning. Twins hold on to beat the White Sox 5-3 at the rate. Rockets and Warriors took 3-1 leads in the West semis yesterday. Pair of teams punching their tickets to the next round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Golden Knights advance with a win over the Sharks, and the Lightning outs the Bruins with a 3-1 Game 5 victory. The news is a service of Rogers & Hollins Jewelers. It's graduation, and nothing says congratulations like the gift of jewelry from Chicago's own Rogers & Hollins. From personally engraved bracelets and rings to designer watches, and Rogers & Hollins will have the perfect keepsake to celebrate your grad's big moment and create a memory to last a lifetime. It's 5:08. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. And hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
Every business needs great people, and the better way to find them. Something better than posting your job online and just praying for the right people to see it. ZipRecruiter revolutionized hiring. Their technology finds great candidates for you. No wonder 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. Goodbye post and pray. Hello ZipRecruiter. The smartest way to hire.
Try it for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio.
Spearphishing has or will strike your business, wreaking havoc on your employees, brand, and your bottom line. Spearphishing can't be stopped by traditional email security solutions because messages appear to be legitimate from your boss, a trusted colleague, or a vendor asking you to wire money, confirm login credentials, or worse. Barracuda Sentinel is artificial intelligence for real-time spear phishing and cyber fraud defense. Reclaim your email in minutes with zero impact on network performance. Visit barracuda.com/AI.
If you have pain, listen up, Dennis Prager here. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You don't have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. So Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of its side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com.
5:10 and a check of the morning roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Good morning, Mike. In Elburn, 47 has reopened between right at 38. There was a crash there with entrapment. Everything was shut down, but now 47 is open again through that area. Starting today in Fox Lake, 12 at 59. There'll be some bridge work going on, and 12 is going to be down to one lane in each direction until sometime in the fall. West side of Chicago, Mike mentioned that fire in a vacant building in the 4700 block West Gladys. Stage nearby at Jackson and Cicero's. Fire room crews in that area. Northbound Lakeshore Drive on the exit to North Avenue. Crash just reported. Elsewhere around Chicago, the expressways and tollways at this hour look good. Traffic, service of Discover Student Loans. Figuring out how to cover college costs? Discover Student Loans is one of the top private student loan lenders in the country with great rates, zero fees. Plus, students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Mostly sunny today with a high 70. Clear night, low 53. Tomorrow, more sun than clouds with a high 76 and a partly cloudy night, low 58. Breezy Wednesday. Mostly cloudy skies with showers and thunderstorms around. High 75 and a low 60. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560. The Answer.
48 O'Hare, 48 along the lakefront, 47 in Aurora. Your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And Amy, I see your penchant for convicted felon, former Illinois governors knows no bounds. I saw over the weekend on the social media the kids use that you were hanging out with George Ryan at Arlington Park.
I was, and we, first of all, good morning. And we'll talk about the bets and the earnings that have been accomplished in my first endeavor into racetrack betting. But no, he was, you know what, He looks good, first of all. He looks great. And I talked to him because I have a friend that's in the same prison that he's in. And
Sure.
No, we talked about the prison guards and how
Good to have friends in common.
hospitable they are. And,
Yeah.
You know, he's still angry. He's still upset at the federal government, the federal prosecutors who put him there. And he said, what I'm really worried about is President Trump. He said, I'm very concerned because if he testifies, I said, I know it's going to be a perjury trap. So he's a big Trump supporter and does not want him, even if it's not under oath, to even speak with the Mueller investigative team.
Does George Ryan still have that that magic power that he had when he was governor? I don't know if it was on display at Arlington Park, but he used to have this power that whenever he reached into his pocket, money was there. And he doesn't know how it got there, but it was always there. Anytime he needed it, it was there. And so I wonder if, when he was thinking about placing a bet in the Derby.
No,
that
I saw
maybe
him in line. It was
sure.
I think $10 he bet on on the Derby, on the actual Kentucky Derby race.
Uh-huh.
Not that I was looking, but I guess I really was looking. I didn't mean to snoop, but I was snooping. But he seems humbled. I don't know. He seems like a different man. I think prison has changed him.
Yeah, okay. Well, it can do that.
But he would not engage with any talk with me about Rod Blagojevich. Because I said I have a free Rod shirt and all that, and he would not bite. He wouldn't say anything about, his extensive prison sentence. And, like, it's twice as long as yours. I mean, don't you feel bad for the guy?
Probably wonders
Nothing.
where the Free George T-shirt was. Where were you when I needed you? Probably upset about that. And so...
and then I thought he should date my mom.
Really? Okay. Have you run that by your mom? Did you run that by George?
Well, but the problem is she lives in Arizona. So that might be, I
I
don't know if he's too old for a long-distance relationship, but I think my mom and him would get along beautifully.
I suppose he'd travel. I mean, what's left for him here exactly?
Oh, yeah. And I told him I was very sorry that his wife died.
Well, I mean...
he misses her every day. And
I'm sure it would be difficult to leave Kankakee for Arizona, but...
Oh. Homer was there, his son.
Yeah.
Is that his name, Homer?
Yeah.
He was there, and his family was there. So, and the best compliment I think the show received, well, probably you, not me. I had a circuit court judge, Cook County Circuit Court judge, come up to me and say he and his wife listen every morning.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, things I hear on your show, I use in the courtroom.
Really?
And I said, things that I've said. He's
guilty.
Well,
guilty.
It's blame it on the left. It's the mainstream media. No, and I said, well, what exactly? And he said, well, I'm on the spot now. I can't think, but things that Dan says I use in court for, and I said, is it teaching moment or?
Maybe I should be a circuit court judge.
You know what?
I could retire, work with 15, 20 minutes a day, line up that pension.
They work more than that.
Well,
you can get a nice pension.
Yeah. Circuit court judge. I guess I'm gonna have to go visit my friends Alderman Burke and Speaker Madigan. See if I can line that up.
I saw John Cullerton. I think that's his name, right?
Yeah,
State
one of the
Senator.
Shetland Democrats.
They're so tiny. I mean, if I throw on a set of heels and a derby hat, I mean, forget it. They're like munchkins, honestly, because they're all like.
See a little Oompa Loompa
so
Democrats
like,
running
excuse
around.
me, I need to get in line here. Move. Yeah, he doesn't like me, and I don't really.
And so how much did you win? What'd you do?
Well,
did you take my advice and just bet the favorite?
Well, I learned what first. No, oh my God.
Win, play, show.
That's.
Yeah.
I was going to say that. I learned what win.
We
place,
don't have
and
that much time. We needed to get that out.
Win, place, and show, and this is what I bet on the Derby race, and I didn't do well.
Let's see here. $45. What is he come into some money? Wow.
It wasn't my money.
Oh, my boy Jack.
My boy Jack.
Oh,
How did my boy
you
Jack?
played you bet the trifecta.
Yeah.
Oh, I
did.
see.
I don't know what I did.
My boy Jack, Vino Rosso, and Combatant. Yeah, I tried a trifecta too, where I was at, and it didn't work.
I saw a picture. What kind of party were you at?
So USO.
Because what was that?
USO had USO of Illinois had a Kentucky Derby party.
Kind of like Arlington Park's, just a little different.
We'll raise money for
Probably didn't
military
have
families.
caviar or anything.
It was a nice spread. It was over at that. It was that event space in the South Loop, like it used to be called like the Electric Lighting Company,
Oh,
like on 21st Street.
Oh, they turned that into.
It's still an event space.
Okay.
So we had there. Jim McMahon was there.
See, you tweeted out that picture.
Well, he borrowed his friend's like big pink hat,
Yeah.
and he wore that on stage because that's the punky QB known as McMahon.
Jim McMahon was really there. I thought that was an impersonator.
No, Jim
He was
McMahon was
really
there.
there?
He was there. That was Jim McMahon. He came in. He was staying with friends in Chicago, and so he was a special guest. And again, it's about time the '85 Bears got some recognition in this town.
I know.
Finally.
So how's he doing?
Yeah, well, that was the good thing. He was his normal self, but he was But I mean, did you see the 30 for 30 on the '85 Bears, which is excellent?
I did. And I cried.
That's when you see Singletary cry, how could you not? McMahon, they talked. They spent a good time devoted to McMahon's early onset dementia and diagnosis and some of his other health problems. But then he started to get this treatment that really improved things for him. All the maladies he suffered from, ostensibly from concussions while playing football. And he was good. He was cogent. He looked like he was in good health. He was in good spirits. So that was encouraging to see. Actually, it was fun.
Was his wife with him?
I don't know.
You know.
I couldn't. The white polloi couldn't get close to him.
The picture that you tweeted out of him, I wasn't sure if that was really him.
Yeah, I was. I was.
What was he wearing?
I was in the cheap
What
seats.
was he?
No, he was wearing. He just had the big pink
I know,
hat
I
on,
said
but
the-
otherwise
okay.
he just had like a shirt and jeans or something. Like
right.
a normal human being.
Okay.
And
What did you win? What was
No.
it? Justify? Who won? Justice?
Justify won. Yeah, the
Justify.
favorite, Bob Baffert, in the winner's circle again.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
So when he told me the total was $45, I said, no. I wanted to place a $5 bet.
Yeah, but you did it across the board, so there's 9 combinations.
know what
So
I
9
was
times 5 is 45.
Doing?
I told you
$45.
I told you
Ouch.
to look for the Melrose Park guys. Ask for the Melrose Park guys before you made a bet, but you didn't listen.
I know I didn't listen. Today, plenty of sunshine. It's going to be pleasant for this time of year. A high of 76 degrees. Tonight, clear, a low of 53. And for tomorrow, another brilliant day filled with sunshine, a high in the mid-70s. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. Things are clear in the Edens right now. Kennedy, fine as well. No problems or delays to report on the Eisenhower, the Stevenson, or the Ryan. I-57 is good. Bishop Ford getting a little congestion inbound now, approaching the merge. Tollways are fine, aside for ongoing road construction. In Elburn, 47 is open again at 38 after an overnight crash. Fox Lake starting today, 12 goes down to 1 lane over 59 for bridge work, scheduled till sometime in the fall. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Quality doors and windows are one of the smartest investments you can make. They improve your home's appearance and save you money on energy bills year-round. Say goodbye to high-pressure sales tactics and enjoy the best window and door experience with Next Door and Window. Call now and schedule your free quote, 630-590-1370, or go online to nextdoorandwindow.com. Next Door and Window has wood-clad, vinyl, and fiberglass windows and doors. Their staff will help you find exactly what you want. Right now, get 10% off windows and doors with no money down and no payments for 1 year. Call 630-590-1370 or go to nextdoorandwindow.com to schedule your free quote. Choose from 3 showrooms in Chicagoland, Arlington Heights, Burr Ridge, and Naperville. Call 630-590-1370 or go to nextdoorandwindow.com to schedule your free quote and for finance qualifications.
Next Door and Window, thousands of options, one perfect fit.
I've been suffering from depression for about 45 years. I've probably been on 5 to 6 different antidepressants. And even when they did work, there was that underlying feeling of depression. And it would never go away. Just call one of the treatment centers and just talk to the psychiatrist or doctor, and you'll be on your way. I'm Christy. I'm a wife and a mother and a real estate broker, and I no longer suffer from depression.
HPR centers in Chicagoland and Milwaukee offer TMS therapy. In just a few weeks, you can change your life, and it's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Medicare. You can make real progress in the battle with depression, cure or remission. Get a free consultation. 800-604-0208. 800-604-0208. HPR centers. Go to endmydepression.com. End your depression.
Safety. It's so important at your industrial facility. You need to keep your personnel safe and meet OSHA requirements. One problem with your ladders, platforms, or safety guards, and you could be facing costly fines. Vans Industrial helps you meet OSHA standards to keep your employees safe.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. As a business owner, I realize the importance of keeping my employees safe, and I'm here to offer my expertise. Vans Industrial is a specialty contractor uniquely equipped to design, fabricate, and install safety equipment, including walkways, handrails, stairways, and machinery guards. Our Vans Industrial team can inspect existing systems, engineer solutions, fabricate quality goods, and install them with trained pros, all making a safer environment for your employees.
Call 833-VANS-IND for a free inspection of your facility. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS industrial.com. Quality craftsmanship since 1964.
Dan Proft here with a home loan expert. He is Ryan Kelly, homeloanexpert.com. A bit of a credit crunch since the recession on the self-employed, the owner-operator of a business. And Ryan, I wonder how you effort to cater to the entrepreneurial set.
What a great question. And I'm a business owner, and there's a lot of us out there. It doesn't matter if you're one person or if you have 200 employees. As an independent contractor or a business owner, you like to write off every expense you can, and you should. You should write off your marketing, your part-time assistants, your staff. The problem in the past has been when you do take advantage of your tax write-offs and you bring your income down on your tax returns, lenders have been denying you for the mortgage, and that's just crazy. So we rolled out our new loan program. It's called the Bank Statement Mortgage. If you are an independent contractor, self-employed borrower, or own a business, I don't even need your tax returns anymore. In fact, I don't need pay stubs, W-2s, K-1s, or 1099s. I qualify you with your bank statements. Apply online for your bank statement mortgage today at thehomeloanexpert.com. Thanks, Dan. The Home Loan Expert, LLC.
AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, so did you see Mrs. Duchess Swan?
I did. She's such a lovely woman. She told me to tell you hello.
Oh, good. She's still a fan of mine.
Of ours. No, she listened to you all the time on the other station.
Yeah.
And now I got to get her to listen to our station.
Oh, well, okay.
Well, there's a little reception problem with her radio in the in the bathroom. So
why don't you
download the app and play the app?
I'll tell you what. Why don't you ask her if she could just build a studio for us in their compound up north there, and we'll just do the show from there. Make it easy for her. She can come down and be an audience of one. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, but she's a lovely lady.
Yes, she is.
Love
It's
her.
an unbelievable couple and family
She had
and
the best
story.
hat I've ever seen.
Really?
Oh yeah, her niece made it for her in Miami.
You kind of look like Bjork in your hat.
My hat. That's not my hat. I never order from Amazon. Probably won't ever again. Didn't deliver my hat on time. So that hat I made at a florist shop off of Damon in Armitage. I just went in there and the lady let me go back and arrange flowers on the hat, and I used a wire and wired it up. So I thought it was a hat that I had in Mexico.
Yeah.
That I bought there at Secrets Maroma Beach.
Yeah.
And I threw some flowers on it, and I thought it looked lovely.
Yeah, I think you're going to want to let professionals handle this in the future. But okay.
Nobody had that hat because I made that hat.
No, it's an original.
It is an original.
Yeah.
I got a lot of compliments, but the hat I was supposed to have was fantastic.
No.
Didn't show up.
By the boards. There's always next year's Derby. Got a story about Jim McMahon, since Jim McMahon was at the USO of Illinois.
Since you were
Derby
being
party.
a do-gooder and raising money for the troops.
So this is from a friend of mine, and I caddied for Jim McMahon when at Chicago Golf.
Oh,
back in
you
the
did?
Day. Yeah. So here's the story. When
Is
he
a
was
good
at
tipper? Oh, sorry.
When he was at an outing at Olympia Fields, he was made to wear shoes because his thing was to golf barefoot, and he dragged all the greens with his spikes. This was back in the day, total D-bag. Not the best Jim McMahon story, but when I caddied for him, he did the same thing, barefoot. His thing was to go barefoot and also to heavily drink.
Did he tip you?
Yeah. He and this member he played with, Jock Harbor, were very entertaining, but sort of ran afoul of the decorum. That's demanded at Chicago
Golf.
Golf.
You say with no shoes? I mean that.
Yeah. I think
gets your mindset in a different place.
I think Jock Harbor's membership was put in dire straits after having Jim McMahon out as his guest. But anyway, the good news is I think Jim McMahon is better. He's over some of his exuberant days as a young man when he had Chicago by the tail. So anyway.
And
that's Jim
speaking
McMahon.
of golf, if you want to play golf, Thursday, June 14th is our annual golf outing. It's called this year the 100 Club of Chicago Golf Outing.
Jim McMahon may or may not be there barefoot.
Because that is the charity we are supporting. It's $1,196 for a foursome. There's 7:30 a.m. shotgun start or 2:30 p.m. afternoon shotgun start. Lunch is at 12:30 for all. And we have that special business benefactor. So as a way of saying thank you, if you own a company, if you work for a company, we will give you, if you want them, 25 one-minute commercials to promote your business right here on AM 560. Dan could voice the commercials. I can. Joe Walsh can. You can voice them yourself. But it's a value of more than $3,000 in advertising. Yours for only $1,196. Here's what you want to do. If you want to become a business benefactor, what number should they call? Put in front of him. He'll read it.
312-363-6680. 312-363-6680 call.
Call right now. 312-363-6680. And we will see you at Bolingbrook Golf Course on Thursday, June 14th.
I've got another announcement
here
here.
we go.
This not related to the station, but it's worth noting. Chick-fil-A starting today from 11 a.m. through 8 p.m.
Yeah.
all week. Hometown Heroes program that Chick-fil-A is running. You know you know this restaurant. This is the restaurant that doesn't have Chicago values, according to Tiny Dancer. So you know, Chicagoland's 26 Chick-fil-A restaurants will provide a free entree to different groups of hometown heroes each day throughout the week. All you do is show a form of ID. Monday, today, teachers, educators, and administrators.
Coaches?
I don't know.
If I wear my Blaine girls volleyball sweatshirt, maybe they have a chance.
You could probably persuade, yes, a knowing cashier. Tuesday, tomorrow, active military and veterans. Wednesday, police. Thursday, firefighters. Friday, EMTs and nurses. Chick-fil-A's Hometown Heroes program this week, all week. The company that does not represent Chicago values.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Come on, man.
And who's on your funeral list? But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
47 degrees in Chicago, but our eyes are on France this morning, where the company Air France's share price is diving this morning. Its CEO has quit. French government is warning the country's flagship carrier may collapse today. A news strike today over wage demands, meantime, prompting cancellation of about 15% of Air France flights worldwide so far this morning. The number of striking staffers appears to be slightly declining as the airline enters day 14 of walkouts. But the labor action has already cost the company about $360 million. Air France's share price down 13% at the open today, trading 10.6% lower at midday Paris time amid questions about its future management and direction. We'll keep our eyes on that story this morning. Hawaii authorities say eruptions from the Kilauea volcano are ongoing. 24 homes have been destroyed by lava flows. Sulfur dioxide levels are poisonously dangerous above the subdivision where the lava flows have been located. The British ambassador to the U.S. says conversations between the U.S. and Britain are ongoing in the Iran nuclear deal discussions ahead of the May 12th waiver deadline.
It's not a perfect deal. No deal ever is perfect. And the president is rightly concerned about Iran's regional activities, which are malign and damaging to security and stability.
President Trump has until Saturday to decide what the U.S.'s next move will be. Gina Haspel will keep her name in the running to become the next CIA director. The Washington Post reported that Haspel was looking to withdraw her name from consideration late Friday. Some have been critical of Haspel's role in harsh interrogation techniques following the 9/11 terror attacks. A bill aimed at allowing the temporary seizure of guns from those considered to be at high risk is moving forward in Colorado in that state's Senate. An earthquake was reported off the Louisiana coast Sunday, the epicenter of that 4.6 quake about 160 miles southeast of New Orleans. Firefighters continue battling a blaze on Chicago's west side. It broke out early this morning in a vacant building in the 4700 block of West Gladys. Chicago's Mount Sinai Hospital this morning dealing with security concerns following a drive-by shooting over the weekend. It happened Saturday night. An investigation is underway after a blaze that killed an elderly couple in DeKalb County. William and Marjorie Creedy were found inside the home in Malta. The pair had lived there for several years. Chicago sports, Dexter Fowler's two-run walk-off blast in the bottom of the 14th gave the Cardinals a 4-3 win over the Cubs at Busch. Twins hang on to beat the White Sox 5-3 at Guaranteed Rate Field. Kevin Harvick, your champion on the NASCAR circuit, and Jason Day, your PGA winner at the Wells Fargo Championship. The news is a service of Rogers and Hollins Jewelers, Chicago's family-owned jewelry store. Rogers and Hollins, giving you and your mom the chance to win with their Mother's Day sweepstakes. Enter at rogersandhollins.com, and you could each win $100 to spend in-store. flowers, and a spa gift certificate as well. Enter soon. The contest ends May 13th. 5:34, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher sees another distraction from the media.
They're trying to distract from Iran and the showdown, the looming showdown perhaps between Israel and Iran. So what does the media do? They go into their crap file. They say, okay, here's a crap file. We got anonymous reports. John Kelly has called the president an idiot. Would it surprise you if that's the way they do business?
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Get your truly free credit score and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma. Download the Credit Karma app today. Credit Karma. Get knowing.
You've heard us say if your roof is needy,
Call Grumweedy.
Also, if your gutters, siding, windows, or entry door is needy,
Call Grumweedy.
What's that all about?
This is Mark Olson
and Greg Olson, the boys from Crumweedy.
We created a special deal just for you. Replace your roof and receive free gutters. Or replace the siding or windows on your home and receive a free entry door.
We'll do a great job, and you'll get the Crumweedy promise of installation that is up to manufacturer specifications, so your warranty is intact.
And get free gutters or an entry door as a thank you. Some restrictions apply, and this special won't last long.
We fix roof, siding, and window problems. We're here. We're a third-generation family business that was built on the same conservative values as you. If your home is needy,
Call Grumweedy.
630-595-8020. 630-595-8020.
Get all the info at myroofisneedy.com. myroofisneedy.com.
5:36. Let's get a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Inbound Eisenhower. Things get a little bit heavy now east of 25th Avenue. A brief tap of the brakes in that area. The Edens and Kennedy remain clear. On Stevenson, there's a 2-minute delay Cicero to Pulaski. Inbound Ryan, 2-minute delay Cermak to the Burn Circle. The Bishop Ford, 2-minute delay 103rd to the Merz. The other expressways and tollways are looking good right now. Fox Lake starting today, 12 goes down 1 lane over 59. Summer bridge work. Traffic service. Discover Student Loans. Figuring out how to cover college costs? Discover Student Loans, one of the top private student loan lenders in the country, with great rates, 0 fees, plus students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Sunny much of the day, nice, high near 70. Clear and 53 overnight. 47 at O'Hare, 48 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
Joe Walsh here. Europe's toast. They've allowed Muslims to flood into their countries. I don't want that to happen here. We'll talk about it when freedom returns at 5.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So big New York Times piece over the weekend about John McCain, who, of course, is in failing health. He's dealing with the after effects of treatment for brain cancer and taking visitors to his ranch in Arizona.
Right?
Yeah, Sedona.
Beautiful place.
Including former Vice President Joe Biden.
Yeah, and he apparently urged him not to get out of politics, which is, right?
Great.
Well,
no,
those two worked together on the Senate floor for a long time. They're friends.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay to be friends.
No, it's great.
I don't mind it.
He, among other headlines from this New York Times piece, he regrets the pick of Sarah Palin for VP in 2008. He should have run with Joe Lieberman.
Do you think that would have made a difference?
No.
312-642-5600. Turnkey Depot Interland.
And Mike Pence, welcome to attend John McCain's funeral. Donald Trump, not welcome. President Obama, welcome.
Yeah,
right?
well, not only that, he's already asked President Obama and President H.W. Bush to deliver the eulogies for his funeral. So,
Which it's going to be held at the Washington's National Cathedral, of course, because he is a man of great import. Obviously, you don't wish McCain any ill will, and it's unfortunate the illness that he's battling, and he did serve our country heroically, and President Trump was wrong as a candidate to talk about I like my soldiers.
This is exactly what he said.
Yeah.
He's not a war hero. He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured.
Yeah, that was unfortunate statement, so you can understand why John McCain would bear a grudge, although you can also understand why a lot of people would bear a grudge against John McCain for the public policy choices he's made as a United States Senator. He, among other things, most notably and most recently, the deciding vote against the beginnings of Obamacare repeal.
That's right, when he went,
Yeah. Yeah.
thumb up and then quick thumb.
Right, and by the
In all
way,
dramatic fashion.
and did so in a fashion that was dishonorable. He told Ron Johnson and Lindsey Graham one thing, and then he went and did something else.
Yeah.
In addition to his stated position on Obamacare for the many years leading up to that vote, like so many other Republicans.
I remember when Senator Johnson was on this program and said his illness may have played a part in that decision making.
Yeah. McCain is releasing a new book that addresses his battle with cancer and the message he wants to leave behind. The Restless Wave talks about politics, Trump, the general state of American public life. Of Sarah Palin, she stumbled in some interviews and had a few misjudgments in the glare of ceaseless spotlight. Those missteps, too, were on me. She didn't put herself on the ticket. I did. Yeah.
Did you think Sarah Palin was a good choice?
Like
at the time?
I did.
I did too.
I thought it was a counterintuitive choice. And, I mean, she, at the convention, I was there in Minneapolis. She gave a great convention speech. I thought the campaign was poorly run. I thought he was a terrible candidate, and that's why he lost. Remember, among other things, the economy isn't my bag.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Poor timing for that kind of statement. There's never good timing for that kind of statement if you're running for president of the United States, but it was particularly poor timing in 2008, I'd suggest.
Yeah, in the recession.
Bill in Crown Point, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, guys. How are you this morning?
Good.
Good.
One of the things I want to make sure everybody is aware of and remembering with Mr. McCain is for all us forestall sailors for his contribution to the 1967 forestall fire. I lost a lot of shipmates during that time frame, and as much as everybody would like to remember John McCain for the positive things, we need to remember what he also contributed to as his failures.
Provide some context to that incident.
As far as the his aircraft that he was flying, he had some weaponry that was even outdated, but to the fact that he would wet start the engines and leaving some fuel in there for the next pilot to light off and scare the rookie pilots. That being the case, that light off created a explosion on the aircraft behind his that created what we call the forestall fire of 1967. So, unfortunately, with his dad being the admiral and so forth, he was not, shall we say, reprimanded to the degree that anybody else would. I mean, there was a significant amount of loss of our, military members during that fire. Not to only mention that it was the largest naval catastrophe on the record books thus far.
Well, how many people died?
Anybody? I think it was 176 was the last. I don't have the references in front of me. I think it was 176 total sailors that died during that time frame. But there's history books that will reveal everything that John contributed to that, and that's the hardship I have with him. I've beaten up every opportunity I could to call him, regardless of the support that he has because of his illness. Yeah, I don't have any kind of support for him as a result of being the naval history that I have.
And you were you're a Navy veteran, Bill?
I am a Navy veteran, and the forestall was my home.
Okay. Thanks for the call, Bill. Appreciate it. Hey, don't forget tomorrow, free Chick-fil-A at the 26 Chicagoland restaurants. Well, I'm just saying. Well, let's go to Ron in Salem, Wisconsin.
Ron in Salem. Morning, Dan, Amy, and the German. People forget that John McCain, when he was running, the bumper stickers that came out, it said McCain 08, Palin 09.
Thanks, Ron. The whole who gets to attend your funeral and who doesn't. Did you ever see the movie?
Sounds bitter, doesn't it?
Slightly. Did you ever see the movie with Bill Murray and Robert Duvall, Get Low?
No.
Oh, it's a great flick. It's a really good flick, underrated flick from both great actors. This guy plans, kind of fakes his death to
see who
shows up at his funeral. That's essentially the premise, and Bill Murray's the Undertaker. So, did you care who comes to your funeral? I mean, assuming that you don't live forever.
That's funny. I was going to ask you, who's not on the invitee list to your funeral?
I don't care.
I mean, if you know you're dying, I've been talking about this for 2 days now. I'm not telling you who else I was talking to about this, but that her husband has a funeral list of who he wants.
Who's in and who's out.
Who's in
it's
and
like a wedding.
It is. But it's more, final, but they don't even really know if you're there or not, do they? Maybe somebody snuck in.
Yeah, but
to your funeral.
Wouldn't you worry about them haunting you if you didn't abide their wishes? Especially you, who believes in ghosts.
You're right. I've never been non-invited to a funeral, though, because my friends are younger, not like your friends.
Yeah. The idea of like a security detail at a funeral to keep people not on the list out. I'm sorry, are you on the list? Like the velvet rope treatment at a club.
Let me check my papers here. Jacobson.
Who's
sorry? You didn't make the cuts.
Who? Oh, the one thing you do have to say, pallbearers. So who are your pallbearers?
Oh, I don't know.
Let's see, Drew Peterson, Rod Blagojevich, George Ryan. Are any of your pallbearers not going to be convicted felons?
All my former prom dates can be my pallbearers.
Oh my gosh. They're going to have
There's not enough room to carry the coffin.
The first wave will have to bring you in, and then they bring you back out, so that there's like shifts to just keep bringing you back in and out, so everybody gets their chance.
No, well, what about you? Who's going to go to your funeral?
Nobody.
No one.
No.
Oh, Jeff Reisman would go.
I'm not. I'm just going to be stuffed.
Maybe Donna.
I'm going to be stuffed.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to be put right here in the corner of the studio. So you
We're going to get a taxidermist.
You could say hi to me every day. Yeah. Wouldn't that be nice?
No,
that's this way I won't be forgotten because I'll be right there.
Now, what would be your pallbearers? Brian Temponi.
Yeah, I don't know.
We can get him a little cart so he can push you. You know what I mean? Because then you could just have one pallbearer, and Brian would be pushing you.
Maybe, yeah.
Because it has wheels.
Should you think we should silent auction it at the golf outing?
Maybe we can get Amby Davis's bowling ball and Patrick and some people from our trip.
Yeah.
Rick from Des Plaines would be fantastic. Stephen Leahy, yeah.
I don't know.
That whole zoo crew, come on.
I tell you, they're going to have to be strong because I'm probably, getting more than 4 is going to be a reach.
You 4
So
bills now?
the 4 are going to have to hold up their end. Tom in Deer Park, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Concerning John McCain, there's a guy, he had a number of books out I got a chance to read. I got a chance to get him signed. And his experiences of being imprisoned in the Hanoi Hilton for 5 years, being tortured daily, and then psychologically being offered the opportunity to be released ahead of other prisoners because his father and both his grandfather were big-time admirals. He refused. He stood there and took the punishment. So with that in mind, when Trump, who already had a very public life, came out and made those comments, I think it was July of that year, and the fact that he wasn't roundly dismissed by the entire Republican electorate, that to me that day and then the subsequent weeks after that told me that there was some sort of sickness going on in our party, and that's my opinion on that. So because his comment,
you said it should have been the comment should have been disqualifying in your view.
Well, yes, sir. Trump should have been disqualified before that, but that to me was, if there was an icing on the cake, that should have been the icing on the cake, and something strange happened in in American Republican politics where that it did not knock his campaign down instantly. And that to me was like a turning point and still is. And I do hold it. I do hold this against the 13 million people that voted for him in the primary when there were so many other good choices. There's something going on here. And to talk about history books, it's going to be distilled, I think. I was wondering what you think.
Thanks for the call, Tom. I'll tell you what I think. Victor Davis Hanson, I go back to it often. It's real simple. Trump's entire candidacy summed up in one sentence. Right. All those elites in media and academia and big business, Hollywood, I know them all, and they're even worse than you think. The elites in charge of our civic institutions that ridiculed people culturally and hurt them economically, and it was perceived that Trump was the only one who was going to take him to task. That's why he won.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
You know, I've been getting a lot of feedback from social media. You want to hear some quotes? Every time I hear that annoying voice of Jimmy from Zipa, I want to tear my ears off my head. You see the hypocrisy here, people? First of all, you know, you got to listen to my commercial for maybe 60 seconds. But what about that person snoring next to you all night long? That person sleeping next to you, they can't turn your mouth or your nose down, can they? No, they got to go sleep on the couch. Get this fixed. ZYPPAH.com. Zipa.com.
Let's play Guess That Mineral. What makes clothes cleaner, skin and hair softer, and can even save you money every single day? Here's a bonus hint. It's also delicious. That's right, salt. Adding salt to soften your home's water supply makes appliances run more efficiently, for cleaner clothes and a lower electric bill. Plus, it removes harsh minerals, making skin and hair silky smooth. Get the full scoop on salt-based water softeners at alittlesalt.org.
Is this us? Are we on? Oh, my gosh.
You're on the radio today.
Hey, golf.
Every golfer on the course. Check me if I'm wrong, Sandy, but if I kill all the golfers, they're going to lock me up and throw away the key. Golfers! You're Greek, kid, not golfers. The little brown furry rodents. We can do that. Hey. We don't even have to have a reason.
Do they have gophers on the course in Bolingbrook? Hey, do they? That's where we're going to be Thursday, June 14th for the 100 Club of Chicago golf outing. It's a wonderful organization that we've teamed up with again this year. A foursome is $1,196. Now, that's for four people, obviously. That's why it's called a foursome. There's a shotgun start at 7:30 in the morning or one at 2:30 in the afternoon. Lunch at 12:30. It's going to be a wonderful day. And if you own a business or if you're the marketing manager for your business, here's the deal. $1,196. The proceeds go to the 100 Club of Chicago, and we give you 25 one-minute commercials to promote your business right here on AM 560, The Answer. Here's what you do. Call 312-363-6680. That's 312-363-6680.
And everybody who plays will be invited to my funeral. And again, we're going to silent auction off the pallbearer slots.
Exactly.
So that should be fun.
Call 312-363-6680, and we'll see you on the first tee.
It looks like a miracle. It's in the hole.
Every business needs great people, and the better way to find them. Something better than posting your job online and just praying for the right people to see it. ZipRecruiter revolutionized hiring. Their technology finds great candidates for you. No wonder 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. Goodbye post and pray. Hello ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Try it for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio.
Spearphishing has or will strike your business, wreaking havoc on your employees, brand, and your bottom line. Spearphishing can't be stopped by traditional email security solutions because messages appear to be legitimate from your boss, a trusted colleague, or a vendor asking you to wire money, confirm login credentials, or worse. Barracuda Sentinel is artificial intelligence for real-time spear phishing and cyber fraud defense. Reclaim your email in minutes with zero impact on network performance. Visit barracuda.com/AI.
This is Dan Proth with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. To paraphrase Lenin, in 2018 America, a socialist is a Democrat in a hurry. Just ask Hillary, who said when asked if labeling herself a capitalist hurt her in 2016. Probably. I mean, it's hard to know, but if you're in the Iowa caucuses and 41% of Democrats are socialists, Hillary effectively conceded that Democrats are in a hurry to exile her and embrace Comrade Bernie's guarantee of a federal paycheck in every mailbox and a Tesla in every garage. Instead of being on defense over the personal chaos that follows Trump around like the cloud of dust that did Pigpen, Republicans should restrain themselves from spending like socialists and get on offense over Democrats' wholesale embrace of a gutter ideology whose main feature is a body count. The electorate that gave control of 2/3 of governors' mansions and state legislatures to Republicans, along with the House, Senate, and White House, is not on board with the Venezuelan model of shared misery and imposed orthodoxy of thought. Democrats may or may not be overplaying their hand on Trump, but they most certainly are on Karl Marx. Republicans would be wise to answer Hillary's distress call over May Day Democrats.
My name is Todd. I am a firefighter, paramedic. I'm a husband, I'm a dad, and I am no longer suffering from depression. With depression, you don't want to make friends. You just want to be alone. And it was a way of life for me. I have been seeing a psychologist for several years and not really getting anywhere. I've tried 11 different medications, which some of the side effects that I experienced were pretty severe. I finally reached out for help myself. It's very satisfying to know that something works.
HPR centers in Chicagoland and Milwaukee offer TMS therapy. In just a few weeks, you can change your life, and it's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Medicare. You can make real progress in the battle with depression, cure or remission. Get a free consultation. 800-604-0208. 800-604-0208. HPR centers. Go to endmydepression.com. End your depression.
A good parking lot is essential to a good building and a good business.
This is Kevin Berquist. My company is SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. Great parking lots. The name says it all. We make your parking lot great. We are an industry leader in seal coating. You can trust our company to do the work for your company. We have the same traditional values as you. We use a process and application that makes sure you get a great job that lasts a long time. I guarantee you'll have a good experience. Check it out, GreatParkingLots.com.
Go to GreatParkingLots.com. Schedule a free inspection and get a quote to make your parking lot a great parking lot. Special early season discounts if you act now. Save the expense. Fix, don't replace. Contact SKC Construction now for commercial parking lot seal coating and maintenance. SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. GreatParkingLots.com.
5:57 on AM 560. Time for a dry basement, a healthy home. Time to call Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. Check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Very latest with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Traffic swimming along well on the inbound Edens, but outbound at Pratt, got a report of a debris, actually a small children's pool, we're told. The center lane at Pratt, outbound. Kennedy, 23 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 25. Eisenhower, 35 minutes, 390 to the Circle, outbound fine. Stevenson, already 46 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 21 minutes, 95th to downtown. Eastbound Adams, Tollway heavy, Tri-State to Kennedy. Traffic Service, Discover Student Loans, figuring out how to cover college costs. Discover Student Loans, one of the top private student loan lenders in the country. Great rates, zero fees. Plus, students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Sunshine for much of the day today with a high 70. Clear night for tonight, low 53. Then tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny throughout the day with a high getting up to 76. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
47 O'Hare, 48 along the lakefront. The News is a service of Napa. This month at participating Napa Auto Parts stores, get a free Chase Elliott bobblehead by mail with the purchase of 5 quarts of any Valvoline motor oil or 1 gallon of Valvoline Premium Blue oil. Quality parts, helpful people, that's Napa know-how. Some exclusions apply. Expires 5/31/18. 5/59. Let's get an update on the stories we're following on AM 560. The Answer. Firefighters cleaning up from a blaze on Chicago's west side in the 4700 block of West Gladys. Charges could be pending following a deadly hit-and-run crash on the Eisenhower Expressway exit ramp on Chicago's west side. Loved ones and hardened political types remembering a trailblazer in Chicago politics after the death of former Chicago Alderman Wilson Frost. Dexter Fowler connects for a 2-run walk-off blast. The bottom of the 14th, Cardinals over the Cubs 4-3 at Busch. Twins hang on to beat the White Sox 5-3 at the rate. Sunny much of the day, high near 70. WIND Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
Will President Trump eventually go under oath? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Every lawyer in America thinks he'd be a fool to testify.
That's one of his attorneys, Rudy Giuliani, on the Russia investigation the president continually calls a witch hunt. Fox's Rachel Sutherland, live in Washington.
Dave Giuliani says President Trump could assert his right to remain silent in the special counsel probe, telling ABC's This Week Robert Mueller doesn't have a case on collusion or obstruction.
Which is why they're asking all these cockamamie questions about what do you feel, what do you think. I'm going to walk him into a prosecution for perjury like Martha Stewart did?
Asked whether the president would comply with a subpoena to appear before a grand jury.
Well, we don't have to. He's the president of the United States.
Adam Schiff, the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, told CNN President Trump must comply and that he'll lose if he fights a subpoena in court. Dave.
Rachel, Russia's president sworn in for 6 more years.
I assure you that my life and work's goal will be, as before, serving the people of our fatherland.
Vladimir Putin's led Russia as president or prime minister since 2000. Britain is joining France and Germany, trying to get the U.S. not to pull out of the Iran nuclear deal, as President Trump might this week. Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson will talk to Vice President Pence today. Britain's ambassador to the U.S., Kim Derrick, told CBS's Face the Nation.
My government has said that as long as Iran is in compliance with the deal, and wants to stick with it, that will be our position as well.
He says they hope to find some language or some action to meet the president's concerns. Iran has said it will not renegotiate. It's now 30 homes and buildings destroyed by the Kilauea volcano in Hawaii.
It was roaring sky high. It was incredible. It was fuming, it was roaring, it was thundering, the rocks were flying out of the ground.
More than 1,700 residents have evacuated on the Big Island. Toxic gas and steam spewing from the ground also a concern. And a sheriff's deputy is in critical condition, shot in the head in Highlands County, Florida last night. Fox News, fair and balanced.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. and hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
Buying a new tractor? You owe it to yourself to visit your LS Tractor dealer. LS Tractors give you a lot more tractor for less money compared to other brands. For starters, LS Tractor comes with more select features as standard equipment. They make operating your tractor easier with better performance to get more work done quicker. Compare and you'll know who gives you more tractor for your money. LS Tractor. Excel in your field. Learn more at lstractorusa.com.
Visit Abbey Equipment in Streeter and get more tractor.
When you're hiring, you don't want to waste time sorting through dozens of irrelevant resumes. You want an efficient way to get to a short list of qualified candidates. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions based on your job requirements. Then zero in on qualified candidates using an intuitive online dashboard. Discover why 3 million businesses use Indeed for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Lou Bridges Show, a show about the greatest financial crime in history. Saturday mornings at 8 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And boy, it's not often you get a federal district court judge to to do a Chris Carter impersonation. But that's what happened on Friday when the Team Mueller was kind of battered about by a couple of federal district court judges. The first, T.S. Ellis, not to be confused with T.S. Eliot. You don't really care about Mr. Manafort's bank fraud. You really care about getting information that Mr. Manafort can give you that would reflect on Trump and lead to his prosecution or impeachment or whatever. This proceeding was a move by Manafort's legal team to have the indictment thrown out, suggesting that the special counsel had exceeded his scope with this indictment. Judge Ellis went on, I don't see what relation this indictment has with anything the special counsel is authorized to investigate. What we don't want in this country is we don't want anyone with unfettered power. So the judge wants to see specifically the full and unredacted August 2nd, 2017 memo from Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein that detailed the scope of activities that Mr. Mueller could investigate. And now this is not saying Manafort's going to walk, but Judge Ellis suggested that one of his options, if the special counsel refuses, would be to transfer the case against Manafort from the special counsel to the U.S. Attorney for Eastern Virginia.
Think that'd be a good idea?
Well, I think that it's, even though this is relatively unusual for a judge to offer these kind of pronouncements, I think they're welcome in this matter because of the fishing expeditions and the politicization of both the Justice Department and special counsel. I mean, of course, it's going to be political, but they're pursuing political ends under the guise of a legal investigation, for example, trying to protect themselves from decisions that Trump could legitimately make within his executive power, including the dismissal of Rosenstein and the dismissal of Mueller. So, as a couple of legal scholars noted, including Jonathan Turley from George Washington Law School, Rod Rosenstein's decision to transfer the Cohen case to the Southern District of New York. Why did he do that? This is certainly well within the special counsel's ability to prosecute the case. Why move that case out of Mueller's purview into the Southern District of New York? Because even if Rosenstein goes and Mueller goes, the eventuality that could happen, you still have the Southern District of New York pursuing this case against Cohen that involves Stormy Daniels and could present an obstruction of justice opportunity against Trump. Or, it's the same thing, subpoena, perjury trap against Trump. So it gives them sort of a backstop against Trump's executive power. And so that's a political decision, not a legal one. And so you can understand observers who understand what Mueller and Rosenstein have been doing, that it's a little frustrating. And since we don't seem to have an answer to the question of who oversees the overseers, who monitors the monitors, and ultimately who prosecutes the prosecutors, Judge Ellis's most important phrase here: you don't want anyone with unfettered power in this country. Right. And doesn't it seem, particularly with the relative unwillingness of most of the members of Congress to hold these people accountable, to exercise its oversight responsibilities, with the exception perhaps of Devin Nunes and Trey Gowdy to a certain extent, you see Mueller with unfettered power. And Jonathan Turley was on, since I mentioned him, he's on Face the Nation over the weekend. And he went through this problem, but that is not to say that a prostitute named Stormy cannot still take down the President of the United States, and Turley explained why.
Well, the danger here is that the Stormy Daniels matter could supply the obstruction case that has so far evaded Robert Mueller. I don't think the obstruction case or collusion case that Mueller's been pursuing has really materialized, as far as we can see, into a serious threat against the president. But an obstruction case would be easier with Stormy Daniels. Even though Giuliani says that this is a weak case under federal election laws, the fact is that it is possible to violate the federal election laws, whether it's a loan or a gift. And the threat is not the actual crime, because this is something that's not normally charged criminally. What Giuliani is referring to is the irrespective test under the FEC, that if there was another reason for the payment, it's not a violation of the FEC.
Mm-hmm.
People like White House counsel Don McGahn understand that because he was on the FEC and actually worked to lower the standards for the election material. The danger is there's an investigation in the field out of New York. So if the president is accused...
That's the case involving Michael Cohen.
That's right. And that search warrant specifically referred to this matter. So if the president is accused of influencing witnesses, withholding documents, encouraging people to give false information, all of that would be an easier obstruction case because you don't have all of the use of presidential authority that you have, for example, with firing James Comey. That's tough because he's using an inherent power. That falls away with Stormy Daniels. It is possible that a porn star could take down a president if the president's not cautious.
Come on, man. I know, it's true.
What was that?
It's Chris Carter. Come
Say
on, man.
Wait, come on. Wait, what?
Come on, man. Did you ever watch NFL Countdown?
Yeah.
They have that "Come on, man"
yeah.
segment for the dumb plays and all that stuff, and that's what apparently Judge T.S. Ellis does watch it because I think that's what he was channeling, or maybe he didn't even know what he was channeling. And so in addition to this, you also had another federal district court judge, Dabney Frederick, rejected Mueller's request to delay the first court hearing in a criminal case charging those 3 Russian companies and 13 Russian citizens with using social media and other means to foment discord among Americans in advance of the 2016 presidential election. Brief order Saturday evening offered no explanation for her decision to deny a request prosecutors made Friday to put off the Wednesday arraignment. One of the 3 for Concord Management Consulting, which is one of the 3 firms charged in this case. Now, again, never highly unlikely you're ever going to get these Russians in a U.S. court, but nonetheless, the judge wants this to move forward. So the lack of deference to Team Mueller in a couple of different proceedings that have very little to do with anything Trump and have been conceded so by Team Mueller and by Rosenstein, there's a certain impatience, I think, that is creeping into the courts with respect to Mueller's investigation, and that's a good thing. We're getting to the point where prove up, or we're going to be on a particular timeline, and we're going to move this thing along, and you guys have to get your act together and present evidence you don't have, or evidence you have, or concede evidence you don't have.
Well, really, Rudy Giuliani, one of Trump's newest attorney members, he's been on a media blitz lately, and again, he reiterated yesterday on This Week with George Stephanopoulos that the president wants to speak with Mueller.
Let's talk about the Mueller investigation. The president said again on Friday that he wants to speak with Mueller, answer his questions. So you're prepared to make that happen?
Not after the way they've acted. I came into this case with the desire to do that, and they just keep convincing me not to do it. First, they leak the questions. Then they do this whole thing.
Let me just stop you right there, because
judge.
in fact, those questions were written by Jay Sekulow after a meeting with Mueller and his team, and these were your impression, the impression of the Trump team's take on the questions. And in fact, it was a document made by the Trump team. It wasn't something leaked by Mueller.
Well, something leaked by us. I know that. I mean, look, it may not have been. First of all, I don't think Bob Mueller leaks. Let's be clear about that. I think that people on a lower, I don't think his top guys leak or women. I think people below leak, and a lot of people saw these different documents. Could it have been somebody formally on our side? Could it have been somebody formally on theirs? I don't know. Main fact is I don't care. My client's prejudiced by that. But in a way, we were helped by it. So I guess that's why they suspect us. But we were helped inadvertently. We're helped because it shows he has no case.
Well, and the challenge the Trump team is confronting, the Trump legal team, is wait for the subpoena and fight it.
Right.
Wait for the subpoena and comply, or try to negotiate the terms of a voluntary sit-down with Mueller. You heard Giuliani say over the weekend, he wants the Hillary Clinton treatment. This is not a novel argument.
Not sworn under oath.
Right.
Questions ahead of time.
And the point is that if you negotiate the terms up front, then you're more likely to be able to get favorable terms, right? You're more likely to be able to provide some agreement on duration, on things like whether it'll be under oath or not. Although, if it's a
subpoena,
if the effort is to at least leave open the possibility of getting Trump on perjury, then of course it would be unlikely Team Mueller would agree to the interview not being under oath. But anyway, you're able to get more favorable terms than if you're going to battle it out over a subpoena that's been issued. And again, in previous cases, the president has lost the argument, like did Clinton, that the president doesn't have to comply with the subpoena. Now, interestingly, a piece by Pat Buchanan, an American conservative, argues that he should defy Mueller and defy the Supreme Court if necessary. Should Mueller subpoena him, he's threatened to do, Trump should ignore the subpoena and frame it for viewing in Trump Tower. That's pretty strong. That would be, that really would be ratcheting things up. If Mueller goes to the Supreme Court, wins an order for Trump to comply and testify before a grand jury, Trump should defy the court. The only institution that is empowered to prosecute a president is Congress. If charges are against Trump are to be brought, this is the arena, this is the forum where the battle should be fought and the fate and future of the Trump presidency decided. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line, 64636-DA, turnkey.pro. Text line, do you agree with Buchanan that Trump should be strident and ignore Mueller, not bother with trying to set the terms of a sit-down, fight any subpoena, ignore the Supreme Court if they confirm the prosecution's position that Trump must submit himself for a grand jury inquiry under subpoena, and say this it needs to be battled out in Congress if it's going to be battled out at all.
Well, this is what Rudy Giuliani had to say about possibly pleading the fifth.
Are you confident the president will not take the fifth in this case?
Oh, how can I ever be confident of that? When I'm facing a situation with the president and all the other lawyers are, in which every lawyer in America thinks he'd be a fool to testify, I've got a client who wants to testify. Please don't. He said it yesterday. And, Jay and I said to ourselves, my goodness, I hope we get a chance to tell him the risks that he's taking.
Yeah, I think you want to foreclose the idea of Trump taking the fifth. I don't think there's any scenario where that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And thus, leaving that door open creates the same problem as Trump actually doing it. The impression that there's something to hide, something, criminal, since it's your right against self-incrimination.
Well, during the campaign, President Trump, said the only people who plead the fifth are mobsters. I remember him saying that at one campaign.
Well,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, again,
these are different times, but in different circumstances.
And remember, just, this has to be repeated. This is largely political, and impeachment is almost completely a political process. It does not require the proving of criminal activity. It does not require an indictment to remove a president. And we've heard the scuttlebutt before. I mean, the reports about Trump's approval ratings bumping up are good news for him in this arena as well, because it makes the cost of going at him higher for politicians that are mainly interested in protecting their own arses. So that's good news for him. But we've heard before, scuttlebutt, that there's a lot of Republicans that if it moved against him, they would move against him.
Right. And then we're learning this weekend, too, it's an ancillary issue, but the Wall Street Journal was reporting that Cohen had access to a lot more money than we thought, $774K. And, Stephanopoulos said, were there other women that were paid off?
You said this was a regular arrangement he had with Michael Cohen. So did Michael Cohen make payments to other women for the president?
I have no knowledge of that, but I would think if it was necessary, yes.
I mean, what is Rudy Giuliani should just, I don't know about his legal expertise, but he seemed like a hot mess yesterday.
Yeah, he should take the advice that I assume he gives his clients in depositions.
Less is more.
Yeah,
The
answer should have been I have no knowledge of that.
Yeah, and leave it at that.
You don't make assumptions. It's
Well, he was doing that all over the place.
Sloppy. Chip in St. Charles, you're in Chicago's Morning Answer.
Whatever Trump does, he doesn't want to make himself look like he's above the law. That's a big part of the reason why Hillary Clinton lost the election. Is he doesn't want to make it look like there's two sets of laws. Laws for the elite and then laws for the smaller people. So Pat Buchanan saying that he should frame the subpoena and put it up on his wall. That would be a big mistake.
Yeah.
I think this is a witch hunt that they're going after Trump over nothing on, but Trump has to be careful here that he doesn't make it look like he is above the law. I guess that's just my comment.
Yeah, that's a good one. Thanks for the call, Chip. In other news in this whole area, Lisa Page resigned.
Oh, she
gone.
No. How's she's still with Peter Strokes or
Strzok?
Strzok?
I don't know. I don't know the status of their relationship. I'll have to check their Facebook page.
I hope they stay in touch.
Yeah.
Did she resign to spend more time with her family?
Didn't say, but I think she resigned ahead of another Inspector General report coming out of the FBI that focuses more specifically on both Page and Strzok that I suspect will not be particularly complimentary.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then a good piece in the Wall Street Journal about the mystery surrounding Michael Flynn's guilty plea. We'll talk to former Michigan Congressman Mike Rogers about this at the bottom of the 7 o'clock hour, also former FBI agent. And Comey's conflicting statements about Flynn and the Mueller team's decision to push off Flynn's sentencing hearing for another 2 months. It's a very curious guilty plea, and it's very curious how Michael Flynn is being handled. And Mike and Jim Comey, here we go again, conflicting himself in interviews on his book tour about Michael Flynn as compared to the testimony he provided before Congress.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Plenty of sunshine today. No rain, not a cloud in the sky, but a little cool out there. 53 degrees right now, going up to a high of 70. Tonight, clear, a low of 53. And tomorrow, just another great day. You might want to make a tea time because it's going to be mostly sunny skies. Warmer, a high of 76. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. Inbound Stevenson, it's really rough early this morning. The delays are from Weber most of the way to 83. From the Des Plaines River Bridge to Kedzie and Damon to the Ryan, an hour and 15 minutes already. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, an hour for the Tri-State. Outbound 39 minutes, 355. Got a report of a spin out at Willow Springs Road. Hayden's is 22 minutes, Lake Cook Junction, outbound 19. Kennedy, 29 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 31. Heavy on westbound 190 from Kennedy to the terminal area at O'Hare. Eisenhower, 45 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 30. Ryan, 22 minutes, 95th at the Circle. I-57, 18 minutes, I-80 to the Merge, Bishop 423. Delay on the eastbound Adams Tollway from the Tri-State to the Kennedy. Northwest Indiana's fine. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Americans in every tax bracket got a tax cut thanks to the tax bill signed into law last year. The economy's growing, wages are rising, Americans are feeling better about the future, and you've got more money to spend on what's important to you and your priorities. It is your money, after all. But Dems in Congress who voted against the tax cuts are promising to raise your taxes if they win in November. They want to take your money back to spend on their priorities. Only you can stop them. To find out how much more of your money you get to keep instead of sending it to D.C., go to taxcutswork.com now. There's an easy-to-use calculator. It will tell you how much money the new tax cuts are saving you this year. Check your savings at taxcutswork.com. Then sign a letter to Congress telling them to keep their grubby hands off your tax cut savings. Go to taxcutswork.com because the money you're saving is yours. Taxcutswork.com. Check your savings and let Congress know you want to keep your savings.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I went to have my blood test done a few weeks ago, and I met the doctor, and he was really encouraged by my progress, and I showed him what I was taking. And he started looking at all the ingredients, and he said, I'm really impressed with the shiitake mushroom. And he said, this stuff, it could clean out your arteries. And I'm like, oh, wow. He said, you may be onto something here. And he said, you just keep that up, and maybe you can start cutting back on your medication. And he says, you're helping your health by doing that. And I'm like, whoa, endorsement by the doctor.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Hi, it's Amy Jacobson, and you know I love resting my head each night on a MyPillow. It's the only way I get proper rest and deal with Dan every morning. For the rest of your body, get the MyPillow mattress topper. It keeps your entire body comfy, cozy, and relaxed. The MyPillow mattress topper is 3 unique layers of comfort that evenly supports your body weight and helps relieve pressure points, plus keeps your body temperature regulated all night long. No more too hot or too cold. You'll get the same 10-year warranty you get with the MyPillow, plus the 60-day money-back guarantee, and it's made in America. Best of all, with the promo code Amy, you'll get 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper, plus 2 free standard pillows. No kidding, 2 standard MyPillows for free. Go online or call now and don't miss out. Call 800-489-0201, promo code Amy, or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
The following is a paid political announcement.
I'm Mike Braun. Politics shouldn't be a career. We need folks with real-world experience who get the job done and come back home. I've always been a conservative Republican, and I'm running because President Trump paved the way. Together, we'll build the wall, defend our values, and end bad trade deals for American workers. And the only person I'll owe anything to is you. I'm Mike Braun. I approve this message, and I ask for your vote.
Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
I'm Mike Braun. Politics shouldn't be a career. We need folks with real-world experience who get the job done and come back home. I've always been a conservative Republican, and I'm running because President Trump paved the way. Together, we'll build the wall, defend our values, and end bad trade deals for American workers. And the only person I'll owe anything to is you. I'm Mike Braun. I approve this message, and I ask for your vote.
Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
You know the expression out of sight, out of mind? Well, that pretty much describes the roof on your house. Sure, you can see it from the ground and things may look okay, but you probably don't really know what's going on up there. After the long winter, this is a great time to have your roof professionally inspected by New Life Property Restoration. They'll let you know the condition of your roof and how long you can expect it to last. Here's the best part. This is a complimentary evaluation valued at $250. And for every inspection estimate New Life Property Restoration performs this year, a donation will be made to the Roof for a Vet project to help vets with homes in need of roof repair. With so many choices in the roofing industry, who can you trust? Consider a family and veteran-owned company that's willing to invest in you before they ask you to invest in them with a free inspection of your roof. Consider New Life Property Restoration and their 20-point inspection. Find them at newlifepropertyrestorations.com or 224-220-1444.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, there was a An anti-NRA rally protest in Dallas on Friday featured celebrity Alyssa Milano.
Oh, from Who's the Boss?
Yeah, she was so cute back then. Now look what's happened to her. Well, she was there with armed guards. And
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. Will Haraway, who's an NRA member, tried to make that point to her guard and to Miss Milano about her hypocrisy.
You must prevent civilians from owning weapons of war. You cannot set guns in the wrong hands due to corporations like
because you got a gun. I'm gonna ask you to leave.
Okay.
But I'm gonna ask you to leave. Hey, you already told him that. I'm gonna ask you to leave. You already told him that, and he's going back.
Hey, I'm leaving.
I'm leaving.
How far do I have to go before
I need you on the sidewalk.
The sidewalk?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But
Hypocrite! Alyssa, you're a hypocrite.
But you are armed.
You have armed security here.
You are armed.
You have armed security here.
And that was her armed bodyguard pushing this guy back to the sidewalk. I would have said, this is a public square. You back off.
Right.
But it's great to highlight the hypocrisy. And here's the hypocrisy that Will Haraway is really talking about for people not named Alyssa Milano who don't have the means to have armed bodyguards follow them around. 70-year-old woman shoots alleged burglar during home invasion in Philadelphia. Maxine Thompson, 70-year-old grandma, was heard someone around 4:30 in the morning trying to get into her house. Turned out to be a 43-year-old man breaking into her back window. Next thing I know, I could tell he was inside my house and he was running up the steps. I took the gun. She took the gun she inherited from her mother off the nightstand, said Maxine. I snatched my gun. I started shooting at him, and he ran down the steps, and I ran down the step behind him and started shooting some more, and he jumped out the back window. The way he came in, the man suffered a graze wound to his upper left arm during the break-in, and police arrested him, took him into custody. So that's why people value the right to self-protection so much, because, they don't have armed bodyguards that the Pauls and the celebrities have.
Oh, Alyssa Milano. Thursday, June 14th, what are you doing? We hope you meet us in Bolingbrook for our annual golf outing. We've teamed up again with the 100 Club of Chicago. They help family members who have lost a loved one, first responders, police officers, firefighters, EMTs, ATF, DEA. They're there for them right away, providing financial assistance. And we're having a foursome, total of $1,196. Words are hard today. And with that, it's a full day of golf. You can have a 7:30 a.m. shotgun start, a 2:30 p.m. afternoon shotgun start. Everybody has lunch at 12:30. And we have a special business benefactor program. So it's $1,196 for your foursome. The proceeds go to the 100 Club of Chicago. And a way is saying thank you and bringing you into the AM 560 family. We will give you 25 one-minute commercials to promote your business right here on AM 560. To become a business benefactor, call this number. Even if you have any questions, just call 312-363-6680. That's 312-363-6680. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, why are gas prices going up? We'll start there with James. What's his name?
Jimmy Pethokoukis, Jeopardy champion.
Yeah, I just call him Jimmy P. He'll join us. But first, let's join Mike Scott in the newsroom. Good morning, Mike.
Amy and Dan, good morning. 48 degrees, mostly sunny skies. Rudy Giuliani says the president does want to testify in the special counsel investigation, even though that could create lots of problems for the president.
I hope we get a chance to tell him the risks that he's taking. So he may testify.
Giuliani on ABC's This Week. Emergency officials on Hawaii's Big Island telling families to leave again after another fissure from the Kilauea volcano opened up in a subdivision where lava has destroyed 24 homes so far. Gina Haspel will follow through on her nomination to become the next CIA director. Washington Post had reported Haspel was looking to withdraw her name from consideration on Friday, concerned over confirmation hearing questions that could damage the CIA's reputation. Firefighters mopping up from a blaze on Chicago's west side this morning in the 4700 block of West Gladys. Chicago's Mount Sinai Hospital dealing with security concerns following a weekend drive-by shooting where 2 women were targeted. Loved ones and hardened political types are remembering a trailblazer in Chicago politics. Reaction comes following the death of former Chicago Alderman Wilson Frost. The 92-year-old died Saturday in California. He was a key African-American figure in the city council from 1967 to 1987. Cardinals' 4-3 win over the Cubs at Busch. It took 14 innings. Twins hang on to beat the White Sox 5-3 at Guaranteed Rate Field. Bears getting ready to continue preparations for the 2018 season, holding minicamp this week for the rookies. OTAs begin next week. The news service of Amtrak. What if there was a car that could breeze through traffic? There isn't, but there is Amtrak, where you can sit in comfort, not in traffic. And now save more, too. Save 20% when you book 14 days in advance at Amtrak.com. Restrictions apply. Amtrak, see where the train can take you. 6:35, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager says enough is enough.
There was no collusion. The thing was a witch hunt. It's a disgrace to the United States that Mueller was ever, or anybody would have ever been assigned to investigate something that didn't happen. It is part of the quote-unquote resistance to do anything possible, whether moral or immoral, whether legal or illegal, to get rid of this president.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Kevin Bastuga, co-founder of Signature Bank. If you get the feeling your deposits don't matter to your bank, then maybe you're not with the right bank. At Signature Bank, your deposits matter to us as much as your business loans. Signature provides unmatched banking expertise, custom financial solutions, and the industry's best technology to closely held Chicagoland businesses. Whether your business is looking for a deposit relationship or needs a ready source for financing, Signature Bank is the right bank for you. Call us today to see how Signature Bank can help your business grow and thrive.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
6:36. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Northbound I-55 is heavy from 126 to near 53 with a stall in the left lane. Then from 355 most of the way to the Ryan. It's an hour and 15 minutes from the Veterans Memorial Tollway. Lakeshore Drive, an hour from the Tri-State. Outbound 48 minutes to 355. Crash at Willow Springs Road on the right side. Aiden's 26 minutes. Lake Cook Junction, outbound 21. Kennedy, 34 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 43. Additional delays on westbound 190 approaching O'Hare. Eisenhower, 58 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 33. Ryan, 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State slow from the Reagan Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. The Reagan Tollway, 22nd to Roosevelt. Traffic service, Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Rocket Mortgage is simple, so you can understand the details and be sure you're getting the right mortgage. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. Visit rocketmortgage.com today. Licensed in all 50 states. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 3030. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Sunny much of this day, nice high near 70. Currently 47 at O'Hare, 48 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Lou Bridges Show. Tune in on Saturday mornings at 8 to learn how you might fight foreclosure and keep your home.
You want more than just the headlines? Find out what's going on and what it means with me, Dennis Prager, this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. And On Friday, we talked to our friend Scott Shalady, Fox Business contributor, about the April jobs numbers, and he sort of suggested that it was sort of like an Obama jobs numbers report, and that wasn't a compliment. 160,000 jobs, a kind of barely replacement rate, and even though the data, the numbers, 3.9% unemployment rate, a little bit of a bounce back in the market. The question is, with participation rates, with relatively anemic wage growth, are we really going to hit that 4% GDP growth? Or are we sort of tracking as interest rates rise to what some have predicted for 2019, which is a recession? James Pethokoukis, our friend at American Enterprise Institute, asked a question in his most recent post, and we'll get his answer. Just how good is the Trump economy really? James, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
So just how good is the Trump economy?
I think it's okay. I think the good stuff is we keep creating a lot of jobs. Actually, the pace of job growth has actually picked up a little bit this year from last year. I don't know if we can sustain it throughout the entire year. That's good. Wage growth is not terrible. There's some other measures which show it to be a little bit stronger. It would not surprise me if it strengthens somewhat again over the next year. People keep forgetting that not only did we have a bad recession back in 2008, but it was also a recession which had a housing crisis and a banking crisis as well. Recoveries after those kinds of recessions are really tend to be really weak, and they take a long time. So we are still working off that overhang to some degree, and I would expect to get somewhat faster wage growth. Now, the down part is we saw very weak productivity growth. That started actually before Obama in the last years of the Bush administration, and that's what public policies could focus on, boosting productivity growth, and that's how we'll get consistent 3% GDP growth.
Well, I'm concerned, and I do believe that there might be a recession in 2019. If you look at mortgage rates right now, I mean, they are going up and up for, 30-year fixed, 15-year, even 10-year ARMs. When is this? I mean, where is it going to plateau?
Listen, if this economy is so fragile that it cannot take interest rates at these levels, that's not a very strong economy. Listen, I advise people not to be day traders. Not begin to trade under the assumption that we're going to have a recession this year or next year. Recessions tend not to die just because our recoveries don't die just because they're kind of long. Usually, getting to your point, it's because the Federal Reserve really starts cranking up interest rates. There is a risk there. As the Federal Reserve raises interest rates, they'll raise them too far, too fast. But interest rates are still, pretty low. And this is not an economy right now where you see lots of excess. I mean, we're growing like 2%-ish. We're still generating jobs. Wages are okay. At this point, you still sort of look like you're in that Goldilocks scenario.
Well, and
Goldilocks light.
And what's the old saw? Economists have predicted 9 of the last 4 recessions, right? So there's always that group of bears who see a recession just in the offing.
Well, yeah, that's for sure. You have people who are permanently bearish. And listen, I don't necessarily count on economists being able to forecast where the S&P 500 is going to be in a year, or are we going to have a recession this year or next year? What I want from economists is to say, what are the things we can do for the economy to ensure steady long-term growth? That's what I want out of economists, not giving me their price forecast.
Yeah, the prognostications. So here's the interesting thing to me. It seems like we've got a bit of, to borrow John Edwardsism, 2 Americas. If you have certain stability at the federal level in terms of lower taxes and less regulation, which you've gotten both from President Trump, then it really matters what's happening at the state and local level. And there are very left-leaning states like Illinois, California, New York going one direction, and states where all the dynamism is and all the people are moving going in a very different direction. And this was brought home again over the weekend, where Amazon announced last week that that new head tax that Seattle wants to put on big companies like Amazon, well, we don't just have to sit here and take it. We're going to kind of walk from the job site of our new headquarters in Seattle. And so, as Amazon looks for a location for HQ2 and a lot of predictions, prognostications that it may be in a right-to-work, low-tax state like, say, Texas or even a little bit less so, but still Georgia. And I wonder if you see that as well, that all the action in terms of policy differentials and the resultant outcomes is really at the state and local level.
Listen, I think we don't pay nearly enough attention to what happens sort of on state policy. A lot of big issues, especially with labor market issues, such as whether it's occupational licensing, whether it's sort of education retraining, whether it's these like non-compete agreements, which is really a big thing in the tech industry, which makes it hard for people to move from one sector to one company to another. That's a lot of important policy. I imagine things like that will play into the decision by Amazon to move and where tech companies locate, but also a lot of other things as well. Amazon's not going to move to Minneapolis. There's just not enough tech talent, or they don't think they can get people to move there to go work for them. So they're also going to be in a place where people want to live, which is why maybe they'll go to where I currently live in Virginia. I think that's probably their top choice. That'd be my guess. They go to Virginia, or they'll even go to Boston, which is a high tax state, but has other things going for it. So you really want to be the total package.
So we have some of the highest gas prices we've seen in a while, and I think it hit $70 a barrel, which is the first time since 2014. What's going on, Jimmy P?
Well, that has actually surprised a lot of analysts that we've seen this sort of spike in gasoline prices. What's I think super interesting is that we do have a midterm election coming up. And to the extent that it matters what presidential approval rating is for how Republicans do, how Democrats do in the midterms, there is historically a very close tracking between gasoline prices and presidential approval ratings. So we may, politically want to keep an eye on that. And again, I'm not sure where gas prices are going to go. But you're right. I mean, they have bumped up, but that might not be sustainable.
For free traders like you and me, were we too concerned about Trump's penchant for protectionist policies, given him pushing off the imposition of those steel and aluminum tariffs on Europe for another 30 days, giving more time for negotiation? Is it the case, do you think, that he's using this as a bargaining position, but he is not going to go full Monty when it comes to these protectionist policies?
Well, I mean, like day one of his administration, he scrapped the Pacific trade deal. So if he does absolutely nothing else, it's been a real disaster on trade. And the fact that listen, we had this a renegotiation of this trade deal with South Korea. And so you ended up really alienating a close ally, creating a lot of uncertainty among all the rest of our allies for a trade deal in which there were hardly any changes, although the president said, we got this big, fantastic new trade deal, which, of course, isn't true. So what is the end game to all this? Either we're going to hear more protectionist trade policy, or we're going to pretend that's what we're doing. I don't see why either of those outcomes is particularly good, though one may be better than the other.
At the going back to the state level, although with federal implications, obviously, a Supreme Court decision coming the next month, by the end of next month, in the Janus case. Janus v. AFSCME, it's an Illinois case leveled up to the high court that deals with fair share. The prediction is if Gorsuch goes the way Scalia would have and fair share is eliminated, that's a $2 to $3 billion hit of political money from the public sector unions in this country. How important is that Janus decision, both as it pertains to the labor market as well as it pertains to public sector union strength in public policy making?
Probably pretty important. I do a weekly podcast, which everybody should check out at AEI, and I just did a great one on education. And the number one thing preventing a lot of new techniques, new technologies, new ways of doing education is really resistance by public sector unions, particularly the teachers' union. So I think anything that kind of weakens that power is probably going to be a good thing long term.
All right. He is Jim Pethokoukis. You heard he's got a podcast over at AEI. You can check out his musings there as well. Jim Pethokoukis, Northwestern grad.
Friend of Dan Proft's.
Jeopardy champion.
Jeopardy champion.
CNBC
Very proud
contributor.
Northwestern grad, Dan. Very proud Northwestern
That's what
grad.
distinguishes us.
That's
wait.
the difference between you two.
By the way, also, now, did you take, I saw that your daughter recently got into a high-priced university. Are there any other kind? And I suggested you started Jim Pethakuka's Global Initiative. Have you launched that yet? Have you gotten your C3 status yet?
I may. No, I think I'm going to start small with a crowdfunding page to help me out.
All right,
Okay.
Very good. Now, where is she going?
I have children at a variety of fine American universities.
Okay, all right, very good. All right.
Okay,
He
so
just wants to
he
protect
doesn't want to
protect their
stay.
anonymity on campus so they're not excoriated for having Jim as a
I'm
dad.
very powerful. I'm a very powerful person.
Jim, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Google to tighten controls on political ads. A Harvard forum examines the safety of self-driving vehicles. Those stories and more next.
The backyard's looking great, Rob. Thanks, man. I was planning on adding a deck, too. Know any good contractors? Why don't you just ask Home Advisor? Home what? HomeAdvisor.com. You just tell them about your project and they match you with local pros that can do the job. Nice. Now, how much does it cost? Oh, Home Advisor's totally free to use. Plus, you can read customer reviews, check pricing, and book appointments for free. What's the website again? HomeAdvisor.com. Or just download the free Home Advisor app.
Home Advisor. Is negative content or comments on the web affecting your personal or professional reputation? Unfavorable comments, embarrassing pictures, videos, legal documents, and bad tweets can ruin your personal life, your career, or your business. Reputation.com can protect your good name. It's easy to squash the unfair attacks with our patented system. Call right now for a free expert reputation analysis. Call 800-651-4888. 800-651-4888.
Today, the Federal Reserve releases consumer credit data for the month of March. Tomorrow, job openings and labor turnover for March. And Wednesday, the latest reading on the Producer Price Index. Google announcing it will do a better job of verifying the identity of political ad buyers in this country by requiring a government-issued ID and other key information. Some critics had wanted even more. A Harvard University forum examining the recent death linked to a self-driving car. Harvard's T.H. Chan School of Public Health wondering whether the field is advancing too quickly. There are few current federal regulations for self-driving vehicles, leaving it for state governments to handle. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern, on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do each morning on this show. Long-form interviews in our Against the Current series, 60 Seconds of Sanity reviews from yours truly, 2-minute warnings, podcasts of our Illinois Rising program covering state policy and politics, which airs Sundays at 3 p.m. on these airwaves. And then don't forget our sister site, defendhomeowners.com, defendhomeowners.com. Free property tax report on your home. See how the nation's highest property taxes are affecting your home value and where the money's being spent. And also, we've got updated information on home sales in 2017 in the Chicagoland area, so get a little bit of sense of what the market value of your home is. All the property tax and home sales info at defendhomeowners.com. Everything else at upstream-ideas.com.
Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that use Balance of Nature as well.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. I take Balance of Nature because I know, I've seen it in my lab, and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Dan Proft here with Ryan Kelly. He's the home loan expert, homeloanexpert.com. McCain.com. And Ryan, we know your business is getting people homes, refis, but what do you do when you're not doing that?
I guess that answer depends on if my wife is listening.
Yeah, right. There you go.
And I mean that in a way that, as a business owner, I struggle. I walk a fine line between running my business and working hard for my clients to get them great mortgages and spending enough time with the family, And as my wife and I have been married 10 years, we have 3 kids. And as you know, it takes a lot of time to be around the kids and do everything to be a good father and a good husband. So when I'm not at the office working on mortgages, I'm just like everybody else. I like to go to sporting events. I like to have people over for barbecues and really big into giving back. Giving back means a ton to me, my family, and the company. Refinancing or buying a house, don't get abused by those other lenders. Apply online today at thehomeloanexpert.com. Thanks, Dan. The Home Loan Expert, LLC.
Looking to refinance your existing mortgage and want the lowest rates and lowest closing costs? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Other lenders boast about having low closing costs, which is like me saying I look good in a pair of 32-inch pants. Truth is, other lenders' closing costs are substantially higher than Team Hochberg's closing costs, and I haven't fit into a pair of 32-inch pants in over 40 years. Compare Team Hochberg's closing costs against any other lenders, and if our closing costs aren't lower, I'll donate to Veterans Roasters, an organization who hires homeless veterans to roast coffee, and an organization Team Hochberg already financially supports. When securing a mortgage, you can either work with a lender whose definition of low closing costs are over $1,000 higher than ours, or you can call Team Hochberg now at 312-751-1333. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
A glass of wine on the patio at day's end. Laughter from your teens and their friends gathered around the crackling fire of your new fire pit. This is the private oasis that AM Woodland Outdoor Design can create for you. Your outdoor space should be a reflection of your family's personality and a true extension of your home, not just a place to set your grill and furniture. A well-designed and constructed outdoor space can add significant value to your home and bring endless days of enjoyment. Spend more time together as a family, entertain friends, or just have a personal sanctuary to relax and de-stress. The expert team at AM Woodland Outdoor Design will guide you through every step of the process. They provide quality service with the utmost integrity and reliability every time.
AM Woodland Outdoor Design, proudly serving Lake, Cook, and Kenosha counties, helping make the communities they grew up in as beautiful as they can be. Visit amwoodland.com. That's amwoodland.com or call 847-224-2167.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed. Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, and I don't know if you have this problem or if this just is a Brad Marchand problem since you coach young people, Amy. Brad Marchand is one of the best players in the NHL, Boston Bruins forward, but he has this problem. It's not throwing punches. It's licking opposing players. He keeps licking the face of opposing players.
So he doesn't want to get hip checked against the glass, so then he licks them as a way to try and keep them away from him? If you come close to me, I will lick you.
Maybe
that could be a defense mechanism.
It's cold. Maybe it's like an icicle. It's like licking an icicle.
Well,
it's an irresistible attraction.
What kind of lick is it? Is it like or is it a?
I don't know. I mean, you had Tyson bite ears,
right?
And you got Marchand who licks the face of opposing players. I guess that would be sort of off-putting, more so than even a cheap shot or getting checked into the boards. A lick is so
I just Googled
different.
face licker hockey. Oh, yeah. He looks like he's making out with them. Oh, hi. Do you like to French kiss?
He has
Ew.
he has been asked by the NHL to please cease the licking of other players.
Ew.
I don't know. I think
Oh, it's so gross.
I think that adds
You know,
something to the playoffs. That's great. It's great psychological warfare.
They did a cutaway shot of the women are horrified. I mean, it looks, first of all, he's licking a bearded, sweaty guy. Gross.
He probably saw Hoosiers when Gene Hackman says, "I want to know what flavor of gum that guy's chewing. That's how close I want you to defend him." Yeah, Brad Marchand is taking it one step further.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Do we need more veterans in Congress? At 7:07.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
2 women wounded in a drive-by shooting outside Mount Sinai Hospital. Former Chicago Alderman Wilson Frost dies at the age of 92. An elderly couple killed in a Malta fire that remains under investigation. Cards beat the Cubs in 14 on a walk-off home run. Twins top the White Sox. Sunny much of your day and nice, the high near 70. WIND Chicago News Time, 7 o'clock.
He wants the Hillary Clinton treatment. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what one of President Trump's lawyers says about the special counsel Russia probe.
No under oath, only a Q&A.
Rudy Giuliani says that's how the FBI handled Clinton in the email investigation. Fox's Rachel Sutherland, live in Washington.
Dave, the president says he's fighting back in the Russia probe, again calling it a witch hunt on Twitter, saying the House Intelligence Committee found no evidence of collusion. This after the top Democrat on the committee, Adam Schiff, challenged Rudy Giuliani's stance that the president doesn't have to comply with its subpoena simply because he's president.
If they take that case to court, they're going to lose.
Giuliani told ABC's This Week he doesn't want the president to give an interview to Bob Mueller.
I hope we get a chance to tell him the risks that he's taking.
President Trump also calling the special counsel team 13 angry Democrats who have conflicts of interest. Dave?
Rachel, the president also just tweeted about his pick for CIA director Gina Haspel. Her confirmation hearings Wednesday. Some Democrats oppose her for her role in controversial interrogations after 9/11, which critics call torture. The president wrote, "Think of that. In these very dangerous times, Democrats want out the most qualified person, a woman, because she's too tough on terrorists." Rivers of fire keep flowing in Hawaii. After the Kilauea volcano erupted Friday, it's now 30 homes and buildings destroyed.
Yeah, it seems like the flows are extending further than from the fissures, so the eruption is progressing.
Talmadge Magno is Hawaii County Civil Defense Administrator. Toxic gas and steam are also problems. 1,700 residents on the Big Island have evacuated. A sheriff's deputy's in bad shape at a Florida hospital after being shot last night responding to a domestic call in Highlands County.
He was shot before he even had a chance to pull his own weapon or return fire. Now we're told he's in critical condition with at least one injury, and that injury is to the head.
Kelly Cowan with Fox 13 TV. The suspected shooter is in custody. Fox News, fair and balanced.
48 degrees, mostly sunny skies. 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Firefighters are have battled a blaze on Chicago's west side and are mopping up after fire broke out early this morning in a vacant building in the 4700 block of West Gladys. Chicago's Mount Sinai Hospital dealing with security concerns. Following a drive-by shooting over the weekend, police say 2 women were wounded late Saturday night when someone in a dark-colored vehicle shot at them outside the West Side Hospital. Now, victims were gathered with a group of others who went to Mount Sinai to visit a relative who had been shot earlier in the day. An investigation continues following a blaze that killed an elderly couple in DeKalb County. Authorities say a house and barn caught fire early yesterday on Gurler Road in Malta. William and Marjorie Creta were found dead inside that home. The pair had lived there for several years. Illinois voters will not see any constitutional amendments on the ballot this fall. Illinois lawmakers have to vote on amendments 6 months before Election Day. That deadline passed last week. Illinois lawmakers had proposed a number of amendments this year, including a plan to change how Illinois draws its political map, a term limits proposal, and a progressive income tax. Chicago sports. Dexter Fowler's 2-run home run in the bottom of the 14th gave the Cardinals a 4-3 win over the Cubs at Busch. Twins hang on to beat the White Sox 5-3 at Guaranteed Rate Field. The News is a service of Discover Student Loans. figuring out how to cover college costs? Discover Student Loans is one of the top private student loan lenders in the country with great rates, zero fees, plus students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. 7:04, we'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity says we will not see the end of the attacks on Trump.
It just is so corrupt. It is such a double standard, and it is so obnoxious on so many different levels, but it's never going to go away because the mission, when you really look at it, has been to never let Trump get elected, and then from the day he was elected to undermine Donald Trump.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Amy Jacobson here. Imagine what it's like to be the spouse of a first responder. Every day you send your loved one out into the world not knowing if he or she will come home safely. And if they don't come home safely, how would you support your family? Well, that's the mission of the 100 Club of Chicago, to provide for the families of fallen first responders. And we are so proud to be partnering with the 100 Club of Chicago this year for our annual golf outing coming up on Thursday, June 14th at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. And today you can purchase a foursome and help promote your business. Just call 312-363-6680 and purchase a foursome at our upcoming golf outing for just $1,196. Now, a portion of the proceeds will go to the 100 Club of Chicago. And as a business owner or marketing manager, you will receive 25 60-second commercials that will air right here on AM 560, Monday through Sunday, between 5 a.m. and 10 p.m. Call 312-363-6680 and ask for the Business Benefactor Program, or go to 560theanswer.com/golf.
Buying a new tractor? You owe it to yourself to visit your LS Tractor dealer. LS Tractors give you a lot more tractor for less money compared to other brands. For starters, LS Tractor comes with more select features as standard equipment. They make operating your tractor easier with better performance to get more work done quicker. Compare and you'll know who gives you more tractor for your money. LS Tractor. Excel in your field. Learn more at lstractorusa.com.
Visit Abbey Equipment in Streeter and get more tractor.
When it comes to hiring, you don't have time to waste. You need to get to a short list of qualified candidates fast. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions based on your job requirements. Then zero in on qualified candidates using our intuitive online dashboard. Your time is precious. Let Indeed help you get to your short list of qualified candidates. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
7:06. Let's get an update on your morning ride to work in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Eastbound Eden Spur traffic is slow from past Waukegan Road to the Edens. Then it's 28 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 23. Kennedy, 50 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 25 from Montrose, 19 on the Express. Outbound 17 minutes to Montrose, but 53 to the airport. Eisenhower, an hour, 390 to downtown. Outbound 33 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 16 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, an hour and 2 minutes from Tri-State. Outbound an hour to 355 with a crash at Willow Springs Road in the right lane. Ryan, 29 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State heavy, 111th to LaGrange Road, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Bensenville Bridge. But Adams Tollway stop and go lead to the Tri-State. Reagan Tollway, Farnsworth to Viola, and Midwest to the Tri-State. Northbound Veterans Memorial, slow in pockets from 75th to Roosevelt. Heavy from the Army Trail toll to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Mostly sunny today with a high 70. Clear night, low 53. Tomorrow, more sun than clouds with a high 76 and a partly cloudy night, low 58. Breezy Wednesday. Mostly cloudy skies with showers and thunderstorms around. High 75 and a low 60. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
47 at O'Hare. Next news at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Kelly Financial Services, helping you secure your financial future today. Visit kellyfinancialservicesinc.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. This big spread that the New York Times did on John McCain over the weekend, with McCain taking visitors from both sides of the aisle at his ranch in Arizona as he prepares for,
his transition.
He prepares for his death. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, and he, he's put out a request of who he wants at his funeral. He wants President Obama and President W to speak, to deliver eulogies, and he requested that President Trump not attend. And I don't blame him for that. Do you? Considering what Trump had said about him in the past, that he wasn't a hero because real heroes don't get captured.
Yeah, it got me, this plus this piece on Wallace's show on Sunday, Fox News Sunday. His power player of the week this week was this guy who's running a PAC called With Honor. His name is Rai Barkat. And his goal, and the goal of his PAC, is to elect more veterans to Congress. Makes the point that fewer than 20% of members of Congress are veterans, and this is a problem. More veterans in Congress, you'd have a better Congress. More mission focus, more collaboration, because that's what you do in the theater of war. Right. Is that right? Is that right? More veterans would make a better Congress? Should that even be the mission, I should say? The prosaic bipartisan compromise. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Do we need more veterans in Congress? Rai Barkat making the case.
Partisanship in Congress may be at an all-time high, while the presence of military veterans is near a record low. One man thinks that's no coincidence, and he's our power player of the week.
We want to change the paradigm, which is essentially this record high level of polarization and dysfunction in Congress. And we think the way to do that is through veterans.
Rai Barkat is head of With Honor, a political action committee working to elect more veterans to Congress in November, in the hope they can break the gridlock and get things done. Why veterans?
When I served in the Marine Corps, I had no idea what the political party was of the people that were serving to my right and left. We had a common mission, and the focus was on doing the mission and doing it well.
Mm-hmm. And Barkat goes on to explain, because he's supporting an equal number of Democrats and Republican veteran candidates for Congress, the pledge that any candidate his PAC supports must take.
Barkat's group hopes to endorse about 35 candidates running for Congress this year, split evenly between the two parties. Younger vets who enlisted after 9/11 and are willing to take what's called the pledge.
Co-sponsoring a piece of legislation with someone from the other party once a year, meeting with someone once a month from the other party.
That doesn't sound like it's so remarkable.
It sounds absurd that that's necessary, but when you talk to members, they actually say, yes, this is necessary.
More veterans equals a better Congress, more bipartisanship, and that's necessarily a good thing. Do you agree?
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment. I mean, you need congressional approval to go to war where you're supposed to, and if they've served, then they know what it's going to entail.
Well,
and that one aspect I see, and I think members of the military are extremely disciplined in all aspects of their life. The ones that I know have well-run households, do well on their job, are good citizens and good people.
Yeah, I'm sure that's true, but the idea that a category of person, we just need more of a particular category of person that has very little to do ultimately with political philosophy, skill sets, or character? No, I don't think so. John McCain, war hero. Do you agree with, are you a big fan of John McCain's record of service in the country? As a politician, not as a member of the Navy, not as a Navy veteran. As a politician. How about John Kerry? He's a veteran. How about Tammy Duckworth? She's a veteran. It's not about their service to the country, about as a politician. What about Michael Grimm? He's a veteran.
I remember him.
Convicted felon.
I knew him before he was a convicted felon.
Congressman from New York, right?
Right.
What about him? I could go on, and this is not to denigrate veterans, but the idea that just more of one category of person with one shared characteristic, military service, would necessarily mean a better Congress, I don't agree with. I don't think it's true. I think it's very difficult to bear that out, number one. Number two, the idea of, this is the same thing Obama did, the sophistry of sitting at the State of the Union address, sit next to a person of the opposite party. It's all theater. It's all bull jive. Oh, meet with one person from the opposite party, meet with a person from the opposite party once a month, sponsor one piece of bipartisan legislation a year. How about based on the merits of it, the substance of it? I don't need my relationships dictated to me by a PAC that's creating arbitrary metrics. Bipartisan compromise. We've had Republicans and Democrats agree to public policies that have this country $20 trillion in debt with another $80 trillion in unfunded liabilities. Bipartisan compromise is the problem, or agreement on spending beyond our means is the problem? Of course, I would say the same thing about Illinois. We need to get off of this sentimental, conventional wisdom pablum of bipartisan compromise, and all I have to do is have a cup of coffee with a Democrat, and that's going to make this country better. It's nonsense. I respect Mr. Barcott's service and the service of those candidates he's supporting, but what he's proposing is nonsense. Take your calls. Jeff on the Northwest Side.
Well, Dan, you said it all. I couldn't agree more with you. That's my point. And I agree. I mean, there's nothing more to be said. And John McCain on his deathbed is being bitter and will be known for that as well.
All right, thanks,
because
thanks
he
for the call,
doesn't
Jeff.
want President Trump at his funeral?
Yeah, I don't begrudge him who he wants and doesn't want at his funeral, who he wants and doesn't want to deliver eulogies. I mean, that's his call. And I mean, what Trump said about him during the campaign
was classless.
It was wrong.
Yeah, it was wrong.
George in Libertyville.
Yeah, I mean, obviously what Trump said, I'm sure he would have taken back. And but I'll tell you, in terms of what McCain has done and veterans, here's a guy that, in his own backyard, Dan, had that debacle, the continuing debacle of the VA hospital in Arizona. And what did that guy do? I mean, he is a very, very bitter man. And I think we're fortunate he never got anywhere beyond Congress to now be also blaming Sarah Palin for his loss. I mean,
he's just saying he would, if he did it over again, he would have chosen Lieberman. He didn't ridicule or defame Sarah Palin, I didn't think at all in that excerpt from his book. He was just saying that he should have had Lieberman as his running mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in his mind, he thought that would, have catapulted him into the Oval Office.
Well, he was the problem on that ticket, not
who
Palin.
knows what he's going? Who knows what he's going through? But
Yeah.
he could be a lot kinder in his own mortality, I think.
Thanks for the call, George. By the way, I mean, thinking about veterans, just this question that since Wallace raised it with this Rye Barcott gentleman, think about veterans in Illinois served in the General Assembly. David Harris, Stephanie Kifowit, for example. These are some of our worst legislators, some of our most duplicitous, fork-tongued, cowardly legislators when it comes to the public policy process, when it comes to changing the direction of Illinois. So I just, respect veteran service, but the idea because you worked together on a mission on the battlefield, that somehow prepares you better to be more stout of heart, to be more principled in the political arena, in politics. In some cases, yes. In other cases, no. As Ambrose Bierce said, politics, a strife of interest masquerading as a contest of principles. And veterans are susceptible to that, too. Therese in South Elgin.
Good morning. Dan, as usual, you are right. And look, we already have a veteran serving in Washington, Tammy Duckworth, and she's as left as you can get. And when John McCain was running, he changed his stance on every issue. I have a very good DVD showing his what a traitor he was.
Yeah, thanks for calling, Teresa. How about the senator who preceded Duckworth, Mark Kirk? He's a veteran.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Ralph and Rantoul.
Yeah, John Kerry, you're a good example. He did a great job with Iran, didn't he? Terrific job. It's not a good litmus test. I mean, I personally know West Point grad, lieutenant colonel in the Army, regular 20-something years of reserve duty. The dude's an absolute leftist lunatic. You'd want him the farthest away from public office. So military service, thank you for your service, but that's not a qualification by itself to represent us anywhere. We need people that are constitutionalists, that stay out of our lives, that try to interpret the Constitution properly and make government smaller, not bigger. I don't want somebody to have a metric to introduce legislation. I'd rather they didn't write anything new at all. Get rid of the stuff we don't need.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Ralph. Like we measure legislation by volume rather than quality. Harry in Hawthorne Woods.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
I of course agree with all this. I think there are scumbags across all spectrums of all different kinds of people. What we need, so that's a ridiculous notion that, okay, we need one group of people. It's an absurdity. What we need are people who understand the importance of freedom, are philosophically sound in their approach, and understand the evils of socialism and what those programs have done to this country. And we need them limited to one term. That's what we need.
All right,
and that's the only thing that's going to help.
Thanks, Harry. Steve in Evanston.
Hello, Dan and Amy. I just wanted to make the comment that I know for a fact that any Democrat that gets elected to the Congress or to the Senate gets pulled into somebody's office the minute they're there, be it Nancy Pelosi or whomever, and is told, you're going to vote the party line, you're going to vote for everything we tell you to vote for, or you're never going to sit on a committee, you're never going to chair a committee, and we're not going to support you for re-election. So no matter what your views are going in, I don't believe that you're going to do anything different than what the party line calls for.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Steve. Joe in Skokie.
Hello?
Hello,
Hi.
Joe.
Yeah, and everybody's talking about McCain, but nobody talks about the USS Forrestal.
Well, he wasn't responsible for that. He said in his book, Faith of My Fathers, in 1999, he said the accidentally launched Zuni missile hit his plane. John McCain was one of the people who was also injured.
Maybe you want to talk to some of the men that were on that ship.
Yeah.
If they didn't get him off there, they would have thrown him in the ocean. He did a wet start.
Thanks
No,
for the
he's
call,
saying
Joe.
that he did not do a
Yeah,
wet start.
that's
And that he actually helped because there were two of his bombs were on the deck, and he was throwing gasoline that was spilled onto the ship, the deck overseas, and helped save people before he sought medical attention.
That's the official record, and then there's these stories that persist, and PolitiFact and others have suggested they're false about the Forrestal and McCain having any culpability for this alleged wet start, but they persist. And Navy veterans talk about it too. So I don't know, but you're right. What Amy just described is the official record on that tragic incident. But one other thing that people don't bring up anymore about McCain's involvement in the Keating 5 SNL scandal
the Keating.
in the 80s.
Frank Keating, yeah.
Margot in Burr Ridge.
Well, a lot of people
Charles
kind of
Keating.
stole my thunder because I was going to bring up, Kerry and McCain. But what everybody's describing that we need is a statesman. That is what we don't have anymore. We don't have somebody who just really loves, in many cases, we don't have enough people who just really love the country and can put their personal things aside, like McCain when he's always shooting off his mouth about torture and all of his personal petty stuff. They're too much consumed with their personal stuff and getting rich and all of that. And I just think that I agree with you, Dan. Of course, they're focusing too much on the military experience and all of that. But anyway, that's what I want to say. We need statesmen, and that's what we're severely lacking today.
Thanks, Margot.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Plenty of sunshine, a high today of 70 degrees. Tonight, clear, a low of 53. And for tomorrow, another gorgeous day. Mostly sunny skies, warmer, a high of 76. Into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center we go. Here is Jim Telemonte. How are you, sir?
Good, Amy. Thanks. Good morning. Good morning, Dan. Plenty of delays. Northbound Veterans Memorial really heavy now from Boughton most of the way to St. Charles Road. And then from the Army Trail toll to 290. Northbound Tri-State it's slow. 111th LaGrange Road. And from the Reagan Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Edens runs 28 minutes like Cook Junction. Up on 24th. Kennedy, 57 minutes now from O'Hare to downtown. Slow all the way in. Express lanes will save about 5 minutes. Outbound 30 minutes to Montrose, 58 to the airport. Eisenhower, an hour and 10 minutes, 390 to downtown, 56 minutes from Mannheim. Outbound 53 minutes to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 16 minutes, 355 to the drive. Outbound it's an hour. Ryan, 29 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 25 minutes, 90 to the merge. Bishop Ford, 29. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Have you met the Swamp Brothers? Congressman Todd Rokita and Congressman Luke Messer. You already know their stories. Todd Rokita and Luke Messer are two lawyers who never practiced and became career politicians. What makes them Swamp Brothers? It's their records in Washington. In Congress, Todd Rokita and Luke Messer voted to fast-track Obama's bad trade deals which could have cost Indiana thousands of jobs. And Todd Rokita and Luke Messer voted for billions in new debt, $500 billion to be exact. But there's more, and it's even worse. Todd and Luke voted to fund abortion provider Planned Parenthood and Obama's executive amnesty. Todd's no conservative. He's a fraud. Luke's no conservative. He's a liberal. Todd the fraud, Luke the liberal. The Swamp Brothers. Wrong for you.
I'm Mike Braun, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
You know I love MyPillow, but here's the answer for the rest of your body. It's the MyPillow mattress topper. Yes, it keeps your entire body comfy and cozy with 3 unique layers of comfort that evenly supports your body weight, helps relieve pressure points, and keeps your body temperature regulated all night long, not too hot or cold. And for the month of May, you get 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper plus 2 free standard MyPillows with your mattress topper purchase. You heard right, 2 standard MyPillows free and 30% off a mattress topper. You get the same 10-year warranty on your mattress topper and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Go online or call now and grab this great deal and others, including 30% off pet beds, sheets, and more. And yes, you can still get the 4-pack deal in May. So call 800-489-0201, promo code Amy, or visit mypillow.com, promo code Amy. That number again, 800-489-0201. Treat yourself to a great night's sleep.
Your local 1-hour heating and air conditioning knows how miserable it feels when your AC goes out. You want it fixed fast, fixed right, and get a fast quote. Unlike some companies, we don't give you a quote until we actually see what the problem is. Then we'll give you our straightforward price and always stand by our work. Right now, get savings on any AC repair. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1-HOUR.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
In my practice, I was getting to the point where I couldn't have the strength to see that many patients anymore. I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis. It really affected my breathing and the strength that I had. And I was introduced to the fruits and veggies. Just slowly, my strength started to come back. And it was because of the good nutrition. I can't say enough good for Balance of Nature and what it's done for me. And I recommend it to everybody.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Spearphishing has or will strike your business, wreaking havoc on your employees, brand, and your bottom line. Spearphishing can't be stopped by traditional email security cybersecurity solutions because messages appear to be legitimate from your boss, a trusted colleague, or a vendor asking you to wire money, confirm login credentials, or worse. Barracuda Sentinel is artificial intelligence for real-time spear phishing and cyber fraud defense. Reclaim your email in minutes with zero impact on network performance. Visit barracuda.com/AI.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, take a couple more calls on this matter of do we need more veterans in Congress just because they're veterans? Kelsey on the Stevenson. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, guys. Your show is awesome. I listen every morning. How about Adam Kinzinger? When he first ran, I went to his debate down at Olivet Nazareth University. That was his platform. He was an Army fighter pilot. That was his whole platform. What's he done?
Thanks for the call, Kelsey. Jeff and Gurnee.
Morning, Dan. Morning, Amy. Hope you had a nice weekend. I appreciate the service of our veterans. What we really need are people to take over the teachers' unions and teach these kids how to vote and what to look for in a candidate, as opposed to worrying about those Tide Pods and condoms. And all of a sudden, they're firearms experts and policy experts, and they need to be educated and bring back civics. I'll hang up and listen to your comments. Thanks so much.
Thanks for the call, Jeff.
I could address Tide Pods, but not.
What would you really have something on Tide Pods? Pro or con?
I just don't buy them.
Don't buy Tide Pods.
No.
Because the kids could eat them.
Right. And kids that are very small could eat them too because they look like candy. They should have never have created those.
We'll have to pick that up.
If a woman is so lazy that she can't pour detergent into a cup, then she's got a problem.
Or if you can't prevent your
really?
children from behaving like animals and eating anything that is in their wake, then perhaps that's an issue as
Everybody
well.
wants to be a YouTube star. What are we doing, Dan, on June 14th, which is a Thursday? Huh?
I think you're playing golf.
We're all playing golf, and we want you to play with us. It's the 100 Club of Chicago golf outing. Foursomes are $1,196, about $300 a golfer. But with that, you get free lunch. You can have a 7:30 a.m. shotgun start or a 2:30 p.m. shotgun start. And here's what we're going to do. As a way of saying thank you, if you own a company or if you're a marketing manager, if you want to promote a business, we will give you 25 60-second commercials to promote your business. It's a great way to get into the AM 560 family. If you've thought about advertising, this is the time to do it. It's a $3,000 value for only $1,196. Plus, the proceeds go to the 100 Club of Chicago. It is a great event. We have fun every year. Dan hits the ball so well. Do you ever win the long drive competition? Because I've won it.
Yep.
6 of the past 8.
Yeah, you have beaten the other woman who plays in the outing.
Well, there's normally 2 or 3.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
312-363-6680. That's 312-363-6680. And we'll see you June 14th at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
The FBI has a fifth column action to take down the Trump presidency. That's what one former assistant director says. We'll ask former Michigan Congressman Mike Rogers, also a former FBI special agent, what he thinks at 7:37.
But first, into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Sunshine, 48 degrees. Rudy Giuliani says President Trump does want to testify in the Russia investigation. Trump's attorney saying on ABC's This Week he hopes he'll get the chance to tell the president about the risks of speaking with special counsel Robert Mueller. Britain's foreign secretary warning that it would be a mistake for the U.S. to pull out of the Iran nuclear deal. Boris Johnson visiting Washington today in a last-ditch effort to persuade the president not to drop out.
I think that we can meet the president's challenge and be tougher on Iran, which is what we've got to do, but without throwing away the heart of that Iran nuclear deal.
The president has set a Saturday deadline for either abandoning or renegotiating the agreement. Another fissure from Hawaii's Kilauea volcano is opening up in a subdivision where lava has already destroyed more than 24 homes. Families on the Big Island had been allowed to return home yesterday, but cell phone alerts went out this morning to evacuate again. Chicago's Mount Sinai Hospital dealing with a security concern following a drive-by shooting over the weekend that targeted 2 women in Mount Sinai's parking lot on the west side. An investigation continues following a blaze that killed an elderly couple in DeKalb County. William and Marjorie Creedy were found dead inside their home in Malta. The pair had lived in that home for many years. Fans of the Broadway smash hit Hamilton will get a chance to learn more about Alexander Hamilton himself beginning this fall. Hamilton's composer Lin-Manuel Miranda and his team are bringing Hamilton the Exhibition to Chicago. It's an interactive exhibit telling the story of the founding father and the founding of America. It opens up November 17th in a temporary structure on Northerly Island. Tickets will go on sale at a later date. Cardinals over the Cubs in 14 innings, 4-3. Twins hang on to beat the White Sox 5-3 at the rate. The news, a service of Discover Student Loans. Figuring out how to cover college costs, Discover Student Loans is one of the top private student loan lenders in the country. Grade rates, zero fees, plus students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations do apply. 7:34, we'll have a check of traffic and weather coming up next on AM 560.
I am a Trump supporter.
The Joe Walsh Show.
Now, I am a Trump supporter who will freely criticize the president when I think he's done wrong. And done wrong can be sending out a stupid tweet, raising taxes, or supporting amnesty. Can be anything. It's the issues to me. And when President Trump does something that does not advance those issues, I'll call him out on it.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Get your truly free credit score and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma. Download the Credit Karma app today. Credit Karma. Get knowing.
Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of Townstone Financial. We've all heard what the big banks have been doing. Time to call Townstone. I guarantee you can have confidence when calling me at 312-896-2110 or going to townstone.com that our only interest is getting you the best refinance deal available and to make sure your home purchase closes on time and without headaches. Great news, we have several new home mortgage programs. The first is a jumbo mortgage program that only requires a 15% down payment without any mortgage insurance. The second is a bank statement program which allows business owners and self-employed borrowers to finally qualify for a mortgage even if they don't show much income on their tax returns. Had a bankruptcy, short sale, or deed in lieu 12 months ago and want to purchase a new house? We have a program for you too. All programs have restrictions, so give me a call now at 312-896-2110. Remember, nobody values your home purchase business more than Townstone. I guarantee it. I own the company. That's 312-896-2110 or go to townstone.com.
Townstone Financials in Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Illinois. Mortgage licensee 66229 and NMLS 136639. Equal housing lender.
7:36. The news is also a service of Staples. Staples knows running out of ink is no way to do business. Help keep your business working and your printers printing. Go to Staples for a huge selection of ink and toner and find your ink in stock every time and at a low price every day so you can meet every deadline. Staples. At 7:36, let's get an update on your ride to work this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Inbound Kennedy, it's jammed. Harlem to the Burn Circle, 57 minutes drive time. O'Hare to downtown, 30 from Montrose, 24 in the Express. Outbound, 58 minutes to the airport. Edens, 28 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound, 24. Von Eisenhower, looking at an hour and 10 minutes, 390 to downtown, 56 minutes from Mannheim. Outbound, 53 minutes to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 16 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound, an hour 9. Crash at Willow Springs Road in the right lane. Ryan, 29 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State now heavy southbound 120 to 60. Northbound 111th most to the way to 31st. And from the Reagan Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Traffic Service, Discover Student Loans. Figuring out how to cover college costs? Discover Student Loans is one of the top private student loan lenders in the country. Great rate, zero fees. Plus students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Jim, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Sunny much of this day. Very nice. High near 70, clear and 53 overnight. Sunny, pleasant, 76 tomorrow. Currently, we have 49 degrees at O'Hare and 49 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Build business with Chamber 630, one of the largest business organizations in DuPage County. Marketing your business and connecting clients is their priority. Visit chamber630.com or call 630-968-4050 to join today.
Listen to podcasts of Joe Walsh and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And tough last several days for both Team Trump and Team Mueller. Starting with Team Mueller, Federal District Court Judge T.S. Ellis, not to be confused with T.S. Eliot, discussing the wasteland is the lack of oversight of one Mueller, and Team Mueller doing his best Chris Carter impersonation. Come on, man. Not something you hear from a federal district court judge a lot, but he concerned that Team Mueller, unfettered power, suggesting that these charges, the indictment brought against Manafort, perhaps is outside of the scope of the special counsel, demanding that he see, the judge, the full and unredacted August 2nd, 2017 memo from Deputy AG Rod Rosenstein that outlined what Mueller could and could not pursue. And if he doesn't want to produce it, then Judge Ellis may not want to let the indictment stand, and he could kick it to the U.S. Attorney for Eastern Virginia if he was so inclined. The most important statement beyond "come on, man" was, we don't want in this country, we don't want anyone with unfettered power, and it's unlikely you're going to persuade me that special counsel has unlimited powers to do anything he or she wants. For more on this and other related topics, we're pleased to be joined again by our friend Mike Rogers, who is a former Michigan congressman, chairman of the House Intel Committee during his time, also in his previous career, an officer in the U.S. Army and an FBI special agent. He now hosts a show on CNN called Declassified, and that's a good name for it because anything that's perceived as classified, Mike Rogers could be in trouble from the special counsel. Mike Rogers, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Apparently he's opening up a chapter in the investigation on you all, I heard. This is a rumor.
Yes.
Is that true? Yeah.
Sure. Why not?
I'll be bored if they look into me.
Yeah, that's, indict everybody and let God sort it out. And God, in this case, apparently is Mueller. What about the judge's rebuke of Mueller, and then in another district court proceeding, not granting Team Mueller's request to postpone the arraignment of a Russian company indicted for meddling in the 2016 election? Took a couple on the chin last week, did Team Mueller?
I think they did, and it's good for good reason. So I've often said we should let Mueller do the investigation about what the Russians were doing to try to influence the 2016 election. I think that would be a good finding and conclusion. It sure seems like he has veered off into some areas outside of that jurisdictional purpose. And so I was glad to see the court put it back into the, put them back into the, the whatever. I'm having a hard time finding an analogy. That's where you guys are. You guys are supposed to jump in right there and help me.
The judge said on Friday, you really don't care about Mr. Manafort. You really care about what information Mr. Manafort can give you to lead to Mr. Trump for his eventual prosecution or impeachment. I mean, when do you think that this is all going to come to a close? Because it's starting to wear on my nerves.
Well, you know what? I'm with it, and I do agree. And so even for people who are listeners who are saying, hey, no, we hate Trump and we should, kill him and make his life miserable every day, fine and dandy. I mean, the problem is it is the office of the presidency. And if you think about it, this thing has gone along, 2 years practically. Mm-hmm. And I do think that's part of the reason we have these protections of the executive office for just these kinds of things. Because guess what? If this proves to be that thorn all the way through this president's term, it won't matter what party, what president, somebody's going to try to find a way to get these special counsels so that no president has the ability to do what they need to do. And I worry about the precedent we set. I argue as well, like, let's go, get it over. You've had 2 years, put it out there. If you don't have enough to indict or you can't prove that, then say that too, and that's okay. But this thing dragging on, I'm with you on this. I mean, I get a little worried that it's going on too long. And these are cases that he could have referred, meaning he could have said, "Oop, I found all these things on Manafort. He shouldn't have done that. I'm going to refer that to whatever district for investigation or decline." But he's taking it clearly. I think this is what the judge is saying, to try to make sure that he can get him to flip.
I wonder, as a former House Intel chairman, what you think of the job Devin Nunes has done. He seems to be one of the few that's attempting to exercise some oversight, which is within his purview, and frankly, it's a congressional responsibility, exercise oversight of Department of Justice and Rod Rosenstein, going so far as to sort of suggest the possible impeachment of Rod Rosenstein if he doesn't turn over those documents that Congress has repeatedly requested and to which they are entitled.
Yeah, I do believe that the Justice Department needs to turn over the documents. They don't get to make that determination. They don't get to say when or why. If there is a legitimate subpoena, which there is from the committee, they should turn them over. I'm not sure an impeachment is the way to do that. I certainly would hold him in contempt, and I'd have a vote in Congress to hold him in contempt. We did that when I was there with Eric Holder when they tried to slow roll getting documents to the House as prescribed by law. So that part I think is right. I do think the sheer partisanship coming out of the Intel Committee is not helpful. There's a lot of things that need to be done, and when you have this kind of political shooting match between the Democrats and Republicans inside the committee, I think good oversight gets lost in that. And then you never know, like, is it right or is it wrong? If you're a Republican, you think it's good. If a Democrat, you think it's terrible, and vice versa.
But is it possible to tamp down the partisanship when you have the likes of an Adam Schiff on the other side on that committee?
No. Oh, I know. They're both at blame. They really both are at blame. I mean, in the beginning, and I've been on TV saying the same darn thing, when they have a classified hearing and they run out to the microphones, and Adam was doing this a lot, where he'd run out to the microphone, he's the Democrat vice chair of the committee, and say, "Well, I can't tell you what I just saw in the committee, but boy, it sure looks bad for the President of the United States." Well, no, you're not supposed. You can't. I mean, you're not supposed to be doing that. And then of course you can't defend yourself because it's classified, and it was. I thought that was wrong, and that was interjecting a level of partisanship. And then it just kept escalating, and now you've got both of them engaged in this highly charged, very sharp-edged partisan fight. And now you don't know what comes out of that committee. Is it partisan or is it accurate? And all of the other work that happens in the committee that people don't get to see, which is really important, I know is suffering because of it. I just don't think that's healthy.
Trump's newest attorney on Team Trump, Rudy Giuliani, he's been on a media blitz. And some are questioning his legal expertise and maybe his sanity. But what do you think of the job that he's done so far?
Well, it seemed to me he got out a little ahead of his skis in the start of it. I mean, he wasn't helping his client just by the fact that he had to go back and try to correct the record on all the things he did. I mean, probably not a great idea to not be very well prepared and then go and give an hour-long interview on a national cable TV show. I mean, I just don't think that was the right decision for him to do. So he'll get it back together. I know him personally. He's a very smart guy. He's done very, very well for himself post public life. And, he'll get it back together. I just think that he got a little ahead of himself. And I think the president's weakness is he's just so impetuous. Yes, you're going to go out and you're going to go out and give this message. Let's try that one. Well, that might work if you're, trying to close a real estate deal. It does not work if you're trying to avoid criminal charges.
I want to turn to the agency, which you were employed as a special agent, the FBI. And Lisa Page of the tandem Page and Strzok resigned after the Andy McCabe saga with another Inspector General report from Mr. Horowitz in the offing. You had Jim Kallstrom, a former assistant director of the FBI, suggest that from the beginning there's been a fifth column action within the FBI to take down, to derail the Trump presidency. And even some former FBI agents who were inclined to be defenders of Comey when he was fired, didn't like the way that he was fired, certainly concurrent with this book blitz, have started to turn on Comey as sort of an embarrassment who is really reducing the status of the FBI in the American public's mind. What is your take on the FBI's performance under Comey and since with respect to this president, this administration?
Well, I tell you, I worked with him when I was chairman for a short period of time. We overlapped. I always dealt with him in a way that I walked away thinking this is an honorable guy. He's always going to try to get it right. And the agents really respected him. He was a supporter of agents of the FBI. And then he decided to tiptoe in and tiptoe out of politics when he started over the whole email bit with Hillary Clinton, where he thought somehow he was the arbiter of all moral condition across the country, and that's a dangerous place to be for an FBI director. And so that's where I thought he got himself in trouble. And this McCabe thing was it's shockingly bad. The two people who resigned, the Schrock and Page, they should have been fired. They had something like 50,000 texts or something they were going through, and I'm thinking, my God, when did they have time to do any work?
Right.
Those two were doing. I mean, they should have gotten fired for that alone. I'm not sure that they were influential in the decision-making of investigations. They certainly had personal opinions that they should not have been using government equipment to express to each other. And so I think we got to be careful not to say, the whole FBI was corrupt and they were all in on this game. I'm not there yet. What we do know is that McCabe certainly had some ill intentions, and it looks like Comey, I don't know if he had ill intentions. He thought he was going to be some kind of a standard bearer outside of his role as FBI director, and I think that's what got him in trouble. So I say slow down. The FBI is doing phenomenal work, great men and women doing really impressive things all over the country. Let's get to the bottom of it, and then we'll make a conclusion. I really don't like this wholesale, even from the president and elected officials saying the FBI is corrupt and it's all done and it's terrible and the whole place is bad, because that will seep into courtrooms and cases and sources and assets. People who are cooperating all over the country. That would be a travesty.
Yeah, I don't. Institution. But I'm not sure anybody believes that. I do think there are grave concerns when the senior leadership of the FBI is as politicized and fork-tongued as it's been under Comey and McCabe and some of the others as well. The Wall Street Journal opining over the weekend about Michael Flynn's guilty plea, and they remind that Jim Comey testified before Congress that he didn't believe Michael Flynn was lying to FBI agents. That's what he said before Congress. And then on his book tour, no less than 3 times, he's denied making statements to Congress that he made. When Brett Baer asked him in his interview of Comey, did you tell lawmakers the FBI agents didn't believe former NSA Flynn was lying intentionally to investigators? No, I didn't believe that, and I didn't say it. But he did say it, and he said it before Congress, so this is easily refutable. And you have all these sorts of contradictions with respect to Comey that we're supposed to take as, innocent memory failures, when you have conflicting statements from President Trump that we're supposed to take as evidence of him being the Manchurian candidate.
Yeah, I mean, I am completely disappointed with what Comey's doing, and I think the shooting match between Comey and McCabe publicly is awful for the Bureau. And I think the agents get it. I mean, the agents are starting to go, oh, boy, I didn't, who knew all that mess was going on? And I do think it's harmful to the Bureau. It's going to leave a mark. And I wish he would just stop talking and go away. I think he wrote this thing, his emotions were too raw, as one senior FBI guy described it to me, to write it. And he's running around trying to right his ethical ship, and I think it's doing more harm than it is good, not only for him personally, but for the FBI, and neither one of those are good.
He is former Republican Congressman from Michigan, Mike Rogers, also a former FBI special agent, U.S. Army officer. He now hosts a show on CNN, Declassified on CNN. Mike Rogers, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
And thanks for lowering your standards and letting me back. I appreciate it.
See you later.
Talk to you guys.
Andy joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store, featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the shoot point blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about shoot point blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
Hey guys, Ken here from the award-winning podcast Today's Growth. If you had to choose sides, which camp would you rather be in? Would you rather have time and no money, or money and no time? Did you know that 95% of U.S. adults by choice have settled into these categories? Much more interesting is that 1 out of 20 people have built their life around achieving simultaneous control of both time and money. What choices did these 5% make that the others didn't? My friends at Income Store have shown both households and businesses how to build second, third, and even fourth revenue streams for the express purpose of gaining control of time. When it comes to helping folks create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Go to IncomeStore.com today. That's IncomeStore.com.
For years, you've heard of St. John's Northwestern Military Academy in the beautiful Lake County region of southeast Wisconsin, serving young men with an outstanding education and preparation for life. Well, now that same experience is available for young women. Now, this isn't a place for juvenile delinquents. Children from all over the country, all over the world attend St. John's Northwestern Military Academy. It's a place where that inspires personal growth through a commitment to excellence in academics, spiritual and character development, athletics, and our military traditions, shaping minds since 1884. Grades 7 through 12, there's boarding or day boarding, and it's going full co-ed this summer. It's a place that you can trust for your son and now your daughter. And as a mom, I want to know that if I choose military boarding school, that it would encompass the values that I look for. There's limited registration for co-ed summer camp at St. John's Northwestern Military Academy. Sign up is happening now. There's 4 one-week sessions. Peyton and Eli, surprise, surprise, you're going to St. John's Northwestern Military Academy for a week in July. I cannot wait. It looks like a lot of fun. They scale walls. What?
It'll be a lot of fun for you.
I want to go. They learn how to scuba dive. There's paintball. The activities are endless. So here's what you do. For more information, call 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET. Or visit their website, sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org.
Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
I look at Balance of Nature and I look what it's doing for me as I've started taking it, and for the patients that I have that are taking it, and it's been phenomenal watching the changes that have happened and how much healthier and how much more energy that they have. I haven't heard any negative feedback from any of my patients who have been taking the product. And the thing that amazes me with it is that it's so simple.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Dan Proft here, and I'm joined by Ryan Kelly, the home loan expert, homeloanexpert.com. And everybody knows the housing market is en fuego. That means hot. But how do you take advantage of it? That's why we have an expert here. His name's Ryan Kelly, as I just mentioned, and he's going to tell us. Ryan?
Well, I appreciate it. Let me jump on, Dan, and you're exactly right. The housing market is hot, and homes are selling fast. You know, if you're thinking about selling your house, that's great. Just put a for sale sign in the yard, make up a price, and it should go fairly quick. If you're thinking about buying a home, it's never been more important to make sure you're working with a strong mortgage lender. Believe me when I tell you, you are not the only person watching those same streets, those same neighborhoods, the same school districts, waiting for the house to come on the market. There's a lot of people out there waiting for that same house. So make sure you're prepared. Get pre-approved today at thehomeloanexpert.com. That's thehomeloanexpert.com. Thanks, Dan. The Home Loan Expert, LLC, Tennessee Residential Mortgage Licensee.
Famous conservative quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
Founder and President Thomas Jefferson said, "My reading of history convinces me that most bad government results from too much government." That definitely rings true today, as well as in Jefferson's lifetime.
It's important we support companies that share our conservative values. If you are a manufacturer, I encourage you to call my friend Laz Kulchar from Automated Systems. As a software and systems integration company, Automated Systems creates custom solutions to make your production lines, facilities, and plants run more efficiently. Imagine less downtime, more speed, and fewer rejects. It doesn't matter if you're a Fortune 500 or a startup, Automated Systems delivers solutions for your toughest automation challenges. For information, I encourage you, man, to talk to Laz at Automated Systems. Call 844-HIRE-ASI or visit automatedsys.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
At 8:08, Amy takes the heterosexual questionnaire.
Excuse me?
Well, what she knows about heterosexuality.
And Stormy makes a surprise appearance, funny or not. But first, she made a surprise appearance on SNL. First, let's get into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Former Chicago Alderman Wilson Frost dies at the age of 92. An elderly couple killed in a Malta fire. The investigation continues there. Cards beat the Cubs in 14. WIND Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
13 angry Democrats. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump tweets they're in charge of what he calls the witch hunt, the special counsel's Russia probe.
Every lawyer in America thinks he'd be a fool to testify.
His attorney, Rudy Giuliani, tells ABC's This Week the president may work out an arrangement to answer questions, or he could invoke his Fifth Amendment right not to. He keeps tweeting, though. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
The president writing the 13 angry Democrats in charge of the Russian witch hunt are starting to find out that there is a court system in place that actually protects people from injustice. And just wait till the courts get to see your unrevealed conflicts of interest. No comment from special counsel Robert Mueller, who is a registered Republican. Congressman Adam Schiff, the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, said Sunday that he does not believe critical comments from a federal judge in Virginia will ultimately stop the special counsel's case against former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort. Dave?
John, President Trump could act to pull the U.S. out of the Iran nuclear deal later this week. Britain is joining France and Germany, urging him not to. One of the president's objections, the agreement has an end date.
We need to find a way of fixing that, and the president has been right to call attention to it. But you've got to do that without just throwing the baby out with the bathwater, without scrapping the whole thing.
British Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson will meet today with Vice President Pence in Washington. It's now 26 Hawaiian homes destroyed by the Kilauea volcano eruption, 4 other buildings covered by lava that keeps growing and flowing.
Living here, that's the gamble that you take, is to have all this beauty.
Toxic gas and other reasons, 1,700 residents have been evacuated on the Big Island. A Florida deputies in critical condition shot in the head last night.
He responded to this area in reference to a neighbor dispute that was over a cat that had possibly been shot by a neighbor.
Highlands County Sheriff Paul Blackman says the shooter was taken into custody. Fox News, fair and balanced.
50 degrees, bright sunshine, blue skies at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Authorities are investigating after a man was struck and killed by a vehicle over the weekend in Crete. Will County Coroner's Office says the vehicle ran into Stephen Flesher Saturday night, walking in the 900 block of East Richton Road. He died a short time later. Chicago's Mount Sinai Hospital dealing with security concerns following a drive-by shooting over the weekend that targeted 2 women in a hospital parking lot. An investigation is underway following a blaze that killed an elderly couple in DeKalb County. House and barn caught fire yesterday on Gurler Road in Malta. William and Marjorie Creta were found dead inside of that home. Suburban Chicago man in trouble with police after he fired a real gun at a teen who they say sprayed paintballs at him. Aurora police say Malcolm Wheeler is facing charges for the shooting last Wednesday. Officers say an 18-year-old fired a paintball gun at Wheeler while he was walking his dog. Police say Wheeler then went home, got his own gun, tracked down the teen, and fired one bullet. Chicago sports took 14 innings. Cardinals beat the Cubs after a couple of rain delays, 4-3. Max Kepler knocked in a go-ahead eighth-inning run on a ground out. Twins hung on to beat the White Sox 5-3 at Guaranteed Rate Field. Rockets and Warriors took 3-1 leads in the West semis yesterday in the NBA. Hockey news, pair of teams punching their tickets to the next round, the Golden Knights and the Lightning. 3-1 victory over the Bruins. 8:03 is our time. It's time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network, a service of Turnkey.pro, here is Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Bank of America is contributing to a package that will help gunmaker Remington Outdoor to reorganize under bankruptcy protection. Weeks ago, Bank of America said it would stop financing military-style firearms for civilians. Remington makes the Bushmaster assault rifle. However, Bank of America says it already had committed to participate in the financing before that announcement. It is contributing more than $43 million to the lending package funded by 7 banks. Nestle and Starbucks are working together to market coffee around the world. Nestle is paying more than $7 billion for the right to sell Starbucks products in supermarkets and to food service businesses. The Dow was up 332 on Friday. NASDAQ gained 121. S&P added 33. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
8:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Larry Elder sees strong support for the president from Republicans.
The fact that the House Intelligence Committee came out with their report and said no collusion, no conspiracy, no coordination, what it does show you is that Republicans are still behind President Trump. He is the leader of his party. He still has high approval ratings among Republicans. And this House report shows that House members anyway believe that he did not engage in any kind of collusion, and they are backing him 100%.
The Larry Elder Show, weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
Amy Jacobson here. Imagine what it's like to be the spouse of a first responder. Every day you send your loved one out into the world not knowing if he or she will come home safely. And if they don't come home safely, how would you support your family? Well, that's the mission of the 100 Club of Chicago, to provide for the families of fallen first responders. And we are so proud to be partnering with the 100 Club of Chicago this year for our annual golf outing coming up on Thursday, June 14th at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. And today you can purchase a foursome and help promote your business. Just call 312-363-6680 and purchase a foursome at our upcoming golf outing for just $1,196. Now, a portion of the proceeds will go to the 100 Club of Chicago, and as a business owner or marketing manager, you will receive 25 60-second commercials that will air right here on AM 560 Monday through Sunday between 5 a.m. and 10 p.m. Call 312-363-6680 and ask for the Business Benefactor Program, or go to 560theanswer.com/golf.
Buying a new tractor? You owe it to yourself to visit your LS Tractor dealer. LS Tractors give you a lot more tractor for less money compared to other brands. For starters, LS Tractor comes with more select features as standard equipment. They make operating your tractor easier with better performance to get more work done quicker. Compare and you'll know who gives you more tractor for your money. LS Tractor. Excel in your field. Learn more at lstractorusa.com.
Visit Abbey Equipment in Streeter and get more tractor.
When you're hiring, you don't want to sort through dozens of irrelevant resumes. You want an efficient way to get to a short list of qualified candidates. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions based on your job requirements. Then zero in on qualified candidates using our intuitive online dashboard. Discover why 3 million businesses use Indeed for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
It's 8:07. Let's get an update on the ride to work in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Very latest with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. CTA reports delays on the Blue Line due to police activity. Racine. Eden's 21 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 27. Kennedy, 51 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 33 from Montrose, 34 now on the Express. Outbound 31 minutes to Montrose, 50 to the airport. Eisenhower, an hour and 14 minutes, 390 to downtown. 56 minutes, Manheim. Outbound 55 to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 16 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 57 minutes. Ryan, 40 minutes, 95 to downtown. Southbound Tri-States load 21 to 176. Northbound Harlem to 31st. Then from the Reagan Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Reagan Tollway jammed 31 to 53 after a crash. Traffic Service of Account Temps finding highly skilled accounting and finance professionals can be a challenge. Account Temps can help. Account Temps' extensive network of accounting and finance contractors can be sure to find the right person for your exact hiring needs. Visit accounttemps.com to learn more. Account Temps, the Robert Half Company. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Sunshine for much of the day today with a high 70. Clear night for tonight, low 53. Then tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny throughout the day with a high getting up to 76. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
54 at O'Hare, 52 along the lakefront. Next news, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
They got the beat, the campus beat, the campus beat. Yeah, the campus beat.
Little pitchy still, huh?
Yeah, I like it. Now, the thing I like most about that is the bell from Saved by the Bell. It's
Yeah.
Pavlovian, almost, yeah. All right, on this installment of Campus Beat, we find out how much Amy knows about heterosexuality.
Oh, no.
So this should be
Wait,
fun.
why can't I ask you the questions?
No, I
Come on,
I
no,
don't. I
really.
don't know anything about it.
What is
I'm
it?
asexual. I reproduce through spores. Here's a question that's posed by Matthew Cochran at the Federalist. Very good piece that I just tweeted out at Dan Prof. Given the politically and morally stilted nature of our schools, that creates a greater urgency of oversight, parental oversight. The question he puts to parents: if you have to police your school to such an extent just to make sure they're not teaching your sons and daughters a toxic amorality, should you really be entrusting your children to them in the first place? Yeah. If you have to micromanage, if you have to be a helicopter observer of your teachers and principals and administrators and schools, should your kids be there in the first place? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Dateline, New Trier High School. We're back.
Oh, hi. I missed you.
New Trier High School, full-on adoption of this organization called Advocates for Youths.
Did you say Utes?
Utes. That's my Fred Gwynn.
Hey.
Yeah.
Utes. Okay, my.
You play Marissa Tomei.
Vinny.
And I'll do, yeah. All right. And Advocates for Youth is this way left organization that promotes the LGBTQ, RSTUVWXYZ agenda at the K through 12 level.
So they're a private organization that comes into the school? Do they pay them?
They have a curriculum, yeah. They have a curriculum. Rights, respect, responsibility, a K through 12 sexuality education curriculum.
Okay.
Here's an example of some of their handiwork. A heterosexual questionnaire that was handed out to New Trier students as part of the lesson plan from, quote, Creating Safe Space for GLBTQ Youth, a toolkit. Let's begin. The first
Page 1.
The first question, Amy.
Yes.
What do you think caused your heterosexuality?
What do I think caused it?
Yeah.
I was born that way.
She is born. Baby, you were born this way. Okay, Lady Gaga. When and how did you first decide you were a heterosexual?
I don't want to answer this question. Maybe I don't know yet. No, I've always known.
Is it possible, question number 3.
Okay.
Is it possible that your heterosexuality is just a phase you may grow out of?
Pound sand. Buzz off.
Number 4, is it possible that your heterosexuality stems from a fear of others of the same sex? Be honest.
No.
You're afraid of chicks, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. How did you know?
5, if you've never slept with a member of your own sex,
God.
is it possible that you might be gay if you tried it?
Are you serious? They're asking kids in middle school these questions?
New Trier High School.
Okay.
I'm sure, but it's not limited to New Trier High School. I think Matthew Cochran refers to this agenda. This is in an Iowa school.
Well, this is clearly a group pushing their own agenda, and they're trying to create kids to be gay.
No, it's
or not try to create, but force them into a certain lifestyle.
Well, just
why would somebody even ask that question?
Well, we're not done yet.
Ridiculous. Well, I don't like the line of questioning.
You know, like, are you gonna take the 5th? All right, number 6. If heterosexuality is normal, why are so many mental patients heterosexual? Such an odd way to phrase that question.
Say that
mental
again?
patients, huh? If heterosexuality is normal, why are so many mental patients heterosexual?
Way out of line.
Why, number 7, why do heterosexual people try to seduce others into your lifestyle, Amy? Number 8, why do you flaunt your heterosexuality? Can't you just be who you are and keep it quiet?
What are they talking about?
Number 9, the great majority of child molesters are heterosexual. Do you consider it safe to expose your children to heterosexual teachers?
You got to be kidding me. This is fake news.
No. Number 10, with all the societal support that marriage receives, the divorce rate is spiraling. Why are there so few stable relationships among heterosexual people? It's actually not true. But, I mean, why start with the
divorce
truth anyway?
rate? I mean, among same-sex couples and heterosexual couples are pretty much the same.
Well, the data is still a bit fresh.
Right.
Why are heterosexual people so promiscuous? Number 11. Number 12. Would you want your children to be heterosexual, knowing the problems they would face, such as heartbreak, disease, and divorce? You see what they're doing. They're trying to, do a little bit of jujitsu on us here. The arguments that have been advanced against homosexuality, just turning it on its ear, as it were. Aren't they clever? And as Matthew Cochran points out in his piece in The Federalist, if you look at this agenda, it is insidious in terms of the language that's used, right? Corrupt the language, then you corrupt man. It happens in that order. And it gets into, of course, trans advocacy. For example, one lesson plan. Blue is for boys, pink is for girls, or are they? The class is instructed to compile a list of stereotypes for boys and girls. Next, they're told to come up with exceptions to those stereotypes that they've seen and discuss them, noting how the treatment of exceptions can make people feel. From there, the teacher tells them there are also people who don't identify as boys or girls, but rather as transgender or genderqueer. This means that even if they were called a boy or girl at birth, they may have body parts that are typically associated with being a boy or girl. On the inside, they feel differently. See, male parts are just typically associated with boys. This is the curriculum. This is the sex education curriculum, just to drill it down, that's being advanced at the K through 12 level all over the place. All over the place. So again, if you have to exercise this kind of oversight about the insidious nature of the curriculum in K through 12 education in many of your public schools.
Well, I know Payne and Eli have not been asked those questions. And they just went through their sex education where they did talk about same-sex marriage. They did, because there's same-sex couples at the school.
Same-sex couples at the school. This is a grade
parents,
school.
Parents, right.
Oh.
Well,
I wouldn't be surprised if it's the kids.
Sally has 2 dads.
Yeah, Heather has two mommies. I know that was one of the first forays in terms of the agitprop from the left into K through 12 education, and conservatives have largely just rolled over to the extent that parents pay attention. They try to just deal with it on an individual level rather than fire the siren for what's actually happening, and thus the rampage of the left through K through 12 education and of course into higher ed. Michael on the north side.
Hi, good morning, guys. So I'm familiar with this program that's going to be starting in CPS schools. My partner is with CPS, and they're about to introduce this into the curriculum next year, and we are definitely against it. It's just making a mockery of our community. Every time we turn around, being gay is on blast. It's all this, and then we have a program like this that asks questions that are not suitable for children of that age. I'm sorry that
they're not suitable for adults. I mean, honestly,
it's outrageous, and every time that we do something like this, we earn less and less respect from the rest of the world because we're out here squawking and screaming that we don't have these rights when you're the one who are putting yourself in that position to allow the mockery to begin. If you want to be treated equally, then act like everyone else. And I'm sorry, it's not about diversity. It's not about being different. It's about being just the best version of a human being that you can be. And this is destroying the youth of America. And it's giving our community a bad name because we have a silent majority here. And we do not agree with any of it.
Well, Mike,
show up.
Yeah. Sorry, Michael. I just want to ask you this too. To me, it seems like so much of racial identity politics is totally patronizing, as well as the idea that your entire being is your sexuality, and that's it. Just like it's counting by race, counting by sexual orientation. That's all you are is your sexuality, and it seems to me that's rather denigrating.
Yes, it really is, and I say it all the time. Being gay is not who I am. I work for the city of Chicago. I'm a laborer. I'm a Christian. I'm a Catholic, born and raised. I go to church every Sunday. There's many facets to me, and I don't want to be identified by who I decide to sleep with and who I decide to love, because at the end of the day, love is love, and it doesn't matter, and I shouldn't be used as a political pawn for an entire party to enslave me, because I have a mind, I'm intelligent, and I can make up my own decisions when it comes to our government. And I'm sorry, the left has let us down. They use us as a political pawn, and they are gaining steam because you have people in Hollywood and you have people in government all over the world telling us that, oh, poor gay community, they need our help. We need to put them on blast, and we need to secure their vote, just like they did in the 1960s with the black vote.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous.
Thanks for the call, Michael. Yeah, it's what Burgess Owens said. That's what the left does with people. Use, abuse, discard. That's exactly it. Scott on the west side, our friend Scott.
Hey, Dan and Amy, thanks for taking my call. Yeah, I think that when I was young, as a gay man, when I was young, I sought out information. I knew I had feelings. I knew that perhaps I was a little bit different than everybody else, or I thought. But I sought out and looked for information regarding that, and I read it, and because of that, I became educated about myself. I don't think that we should be. It doesn't need to be part of the school curriculum. What amazes me is how the left is obsessed with sexuality, but then they've got the Me Too movement, and they're men are abusing women, and they're obsessed with it, but then they're against it at the same time. It's not logical to me.
Thanks for the call, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
You point out the hot mess appropriately. That is the left. Bob in Lisle.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, I find it very troubling that you have to put your kids in a class. I think you should be able to opt out of that. If I was a parent, I want my kids exposed to that kind of thing. The reality is I have a visitor from England with me, and we talked about this kind of stuff. And what happens in Europe now, it's so pervasive that you can't even speak out against it because then it becomes hate speech. So if you live in America and you have freedom of speech, then you better love that, because at some point in time you can be taken away. But the main thing is, I see these Catholic callers and people that the church has not changed its position, even though they're sympathetic toward homosexuality. You cannot act out on that. The church has never changed its position on that. So you're supposed to be able to live a chaste life, and even though you have a propensity toward that type of thing, there is no such thing as sex outside of marriage. And that's why we got the problem. The Bible is out of the school, where it says at the beginning, God created a man and female. That's all I got to say.
Thanks, Bob. Vicky and Lamont.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. I just wanted to let the audience know that there is an organization that has done studies, and they have written a book called The Health Hazards of Homosexuality. It's called Mass Resistance, and you can get on their website, massresistance.org, and some of those studies of how we are, with depression and anxiety, heterosexual as well. Take a look at the statistics for homosexuality. So that's kind of a statistic that is very deceiving.
All right,
so it's called massresistance.org, and they have a book.
Thanks, Vicky. Appreciate it. Glenn in Holland, Michigan.
Yep, it's time to homeschool our kids. I homeschooled my kids for 17 years. I'm not Amish, and I'm not religious. And it worked out great. Khan Academy, it's not like it used to be.
Yeah.
The curriculum's online. You get a far, far greater education. My kid is going to school, and she'll get a 4-year degree in 2 years because she's so advanced.
Thanks.
And my other one, 4-year degree, 1 year. Save a bunch of money. And teaching kids reading, writing, and arithmetic. Thanks.
Thanks, Glenn.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
We didn't take Mark from Des Plaines. Why not?
I'm sorry we ran out of time.
Okay. Forecast for today, plenty of sunshine in Des Plaines and Mount Prospect and all over the Chicago area. We're going to have a high of 70 degrees, and tomorrow the party continues. No rain, a few high clouds, and warmer, a high of 76. Let's go into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Well, Amy and Dan, there's not much daylight on the inbound Eisenhower. It's a mess from York to the Tri-State and then Oak Park Avenue to the Burns Circle. It's an hour and 19 minutes, 390 to downtown, 49 minutes from Manheim, up on an hour and 4 minutes to 390. Eden's 21 minutes, Lake Cook Junction, up on 27. Kennedy, 51 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Express lanes take a little longer, up on 50 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 16 minutes still, from 355 to the drive. How about 46 minutes? The ride, 40 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State delays are northbound 87th to 47th. Reagan Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Reagan Tollway jammed 31 to 53 after a crash. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
If you're a business owner, you've experienced your fair share of emergencies, and they always seem to happen at the worst time. Wouldn't it be nice to have someone on call 24/7 to help for whatever may come up? It's not possible for every emergency, but it is available for your business and computer systems. With the support agreement, Turnkey IT will keep your computer systems online and running with no worries. If an emergency does pop up, Turnkey is prompt and responsive without charging an enormous after-hours rate. The certified pros at Turnkey proactively keep your business computer systems online with remote and on-site support. And right now, for a limited time, you can save up to $500 a month on a support contract, plus unlimited cloud backup at no cost. Enjoy the secure feeling of your network being supported by Turnkey IT 24/7. Visit turnkey.pro. That's turnkey.pro.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I went to have my blood test done a few weeks ago, and I met the doctor, and he was really encouraged by my progress, and I showed him what I was taking, and he started looking at all the ingredients, and he said, I'm really impressed with the shiitake mushroom. And he said, this stuff, it could clean out your arteries. And I'm like, oh, wow. He said, you may be onto something here. And he said, you just keep that up, and maybe you can start cutting back on your medication. And he says, you're helping your health by doing that. And I'm like, whoa, endorsement by the doctor.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Dave Geiselhart, president and owner of Home Trust Mortgage and customer of Signature Bank. When the large banks turned away from the mortgage lending industry during the financial crisis, I turned to locally owned Signature Bank. Signature Bank stepped in and helped me expand our business at a time when the larger banks wouldn't. Today, I'm proud to say Home Trust Mortgage has been able to expand our business in Illinois and the Great Lakes region. We couldn't have done that without the help of Signature Bank. Signature Bank truly helps Chicago businesses like mine grow and thrive. That's why we also became personal customers and shareholders of Signature Bank, Chicago's business bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Our freedom and security are made possible through the service and sacrifice of our military and first responders. The Gary Sinise Foundation provides many outreach programs supporting these brave men and women. Join us. Donate at GarySiniseFoundation.org.
For years, you've heard of St. John's Northwestern Military Academy, serving young men with an outstanding education and preparation for life. Now that same experience is available for your daughter. With summer vacation right around the corner, now is a great time to register your son or daughter for summer camp at St. John's Northwestern Military Academy in the beautiful region of southeast Wisconsin. It's a time to refocus from the distractions of life and explore the potentials in many areas of life. There's Camp St. John's Northwestern with 4 one-week sessions of outdoor activities for 10 to 16-year-olds, and summer school for 5 weeks to recover credits or get ahead for full credit. Limited registration for co-ed summer camp is happening now, as well as the year-round school application process. Hurry, space is limited. For more information, call 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET, or visit their website, sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Beautiful day. A day you should go golfing, and to reserve a tee time, you should join us at the 100 Club of Chicago golf outing taking place Thursday, June 14th at the beautiful yet challenging Bolingbrook Golf Club. Foursomes are $1,196. The proceeds go to the 100 Club of Chicago, but also as a way of saying thank you. If you want them, we will give you 25 60-second commercials to promote your business. If you thought about advertising, now is the time to do it. This is a $3,000 value at only $1,196. Take your business to the next level. Enjoy a great day of golf and help a worthy cause, the 100 Club of Chicago. How do you become a business benefactor? Dan, do you know how?
Yeah, you call that number on the sheet you're reading from.
That number would be 312-363-6680. I have it memorized now. 312-363-6680. If you have any questions, feel free to call 312-363-6680 and sign up for your foursome, and we will see you June 14th. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
we're going to talk to investigative reporter Cheryl Atkinson about the relative dearth of coverage of one John Kerry colluding with Iranians in real time at 8:38.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
54 degrees, blue skies and sunshine at 8:31. The sheriff says a sniper-like shooting in northern Georgia on a major highway was a random act of violence. Rex Harbor of Georgia hid in woods and randomly opened fire 17 times on passing cars. 2 men were hit by bullets. They're reported to be okay. Harbor apparently shot and killed himself once law enforcement had him surrounded. Britain's foreign secretary warning it would be a mistake for the U.S. to pull out of the Iran nuclear deal. Boris Johnson is visiting Washington today.
I think that we can meet the president's challenge and be tougher on Iran, which is what we've got to do, but without throwing away the heart of that Iran nuclear deal.
The president set a Saturday deadline for either abandoning or renegotiating that agreement. Hawaii emergency officials are telling families to go now, leave, as another fissure from the Kilauea volcano opened up inside of a subdivision where lava has destroyed more than 24 homes already. There's concern in South Florida, where an outbreak Americans haven't seen in over 100 years could be brewing. Doctors are worried about a yellow fever outbreak that has killed hundreds in Brazil and could spread to the south. Authorities investigating after a man was struck and killed by a vehicle over the weekend in Crete. Chicago's Mount Sinai Hospital dealing with security concerns following a drive-by shooting over the weekend that targeted 2 women in a hospital parking lot. Gas prices in Illinois are flat, but that doesn't mean gas is cheap. Folks at Gas Buddy say the average price for a gallon of regular in the state is $2.90. Low prices in the state, $2.54 a gallon near Bloomington. Chicago sports, Cardinals 4-3 winners over the Cubs in 14 innings, while the Twins beat the White Sox 5-3. The news is a service of Discover Student Loans. Figuring out how to cover college costs? Discover Student Loans, one of the top private student loan lenders in the country with great rates, 0 fees, plus students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to learn more and apply today. Limitations apply. 8:33, a check of traffic and weather coming up next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher thinks the Democrats are scrambling.
This is so crazy. The left is in such a frenzy. The DNC lawsuit suing WikiLeaks and the Trump campaign. Oh, yeah, Russia. Sue Russia, because that'll work. It's nuts. We are in Crazyville.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Quote, buy, and save on home insurance with Progressive's new Home Quote Explorer. Only at Progressive.com.
The following is a paid political announcement.
I'm Mike Braun. Politics shouldn't be a career. We need folks with real-world experience who get the job done and come back home. I've always been a conservative Republican, and I'm running because President Trump paved the way. Together, we'll build the wall, defend our values, and end bad trade deals for American workers. And the only person I'll owe anything to is you. I'm Mike Braun. I approve this message, and I ask for your vote.
Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
I'm Mike Braun. Politics shouldn't be a career. We need folks with real-world experience who get the job done and come back home. I've always been a conservative Republican, and I'm running because President Trump paved the way. Together, we'll build the wall, defend our values, and end bad trade deals for American workers. And the only person I'll owe anything to is you. I'm Mike Braun. I approve this message, and I ask for your vote.
Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
8:35. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Eden's outbound heavy Montrose to Winnetka Road. It's 33 minutes from Montrose to Lake Cook. Inbound now fine at 19. Kennedy, 51 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 33 from Montrose, 34 in the Express. Outbound 50 minutes to the airport. Eisenhower now an hour and 20 minutes. 390 to downtown. 51 minutes from Mannheim. Outbound an hour and 4 minutes to 390. Stevenson an hour and 16 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 46 minutes. Ryan is 40 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State stop and go 87th to 47th from the Reagan Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Adams Tollway heavy lead to the Tri-State. Reagan Tollway still major delays 31 to 53 after a crash. Westbound heavy approaching York. Northbound Veterans Memorial still Boughton to the Reagan Tollway. Findlay to St. Charles and North Avenue to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, sunny much of the time, nice. High near 70, clear and 53 overnight. Currently 54 at O'Hare, 52 along the lakefront. Next news at 9, Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is sponsored by Financial Planning with Jack Taboda, your 401k specialist. Heard Saturday mornings at 7 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity, this afternoon at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Iran is still listed as a state sponsor of terror, according to the U.S. State Department.
It is.
Yeah. I raised the issue because not only will the president perhaps decide this week on whether or not to pull the U.S. out of that Iranian nuclear deal, the deal that, as the Israeli ambassador to the U.S. described, Ron Demmer, provides a path, not a hurdle, to a nuclear Iran, which is a problem in the region, but also because you have a former Secretary of State, John Kerry, apparently engaged in shadow negotiations with Iranian officials trying to preserve the deal that he and the Obama administration cobbled together. And this has been underreported. I'm reading it from the Washington Examiner, which is a conservative news outlet. I haven't seen a lot of reporting of this. I haven't seen a lot of attendant hysteria about collusion with enemies of America about this. I haven't seen pundits on CNN and MSNBC lighting their hair on fire over this possible violation of the Logan Act. This is something that they were happy to raise as it pertained to Michael Flynn when he was National Security Advisor over his communications with foreign officials. So it's just interesting, the different standards. Are we not to understand Iran being an enemy of the state anymore? Are we to allow former secretaries of state to willy-nilly operate as shadow diplomats? For more on this topic, we're pleased to be joined by our friend Cheryl Atkinson, of course, a famed investigative journalist. Her latest book, The Smear, How Shady Political Operatives and Fake News Control What You See, What You Think, and How You Vote. How about what you don't see, like coverage of this John Kerry gambit? Cheryl, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks. I have often argued that the self-censorship or the news that we choose not to cover is often as important, if not more important than the news we choose to cover.
Yeah, and so what about this lack of coverage? This seems to be a fairly high-profile national security issue and a seminal alleged accomplishment of the Obama administration that has the potential to be undone by President Trump, and a former Secretary of State running around engaged in a lobbying campaign in consultation with the Iranians and against potentially the interests of certainly this president and his administration. That seems like it would demand some questions be asked.
I think fair minds would and do ask questions about that sort of thing, but it goes back to when the deal was made, when the money was shipped in the dead of night without congressional approval under the Obama administration to Iran, as you rightly said, the world's largest state sponsor of terrorism. And this is done unilaterally. I mean, to this day, we don't really know how much money we sent to them because there was no way for anybody to oversee it. It was just reported after the fact. And I think that is probably one of the most questionable yet least questioned events of the past 10 years or so when it comes to international politics or diplomacy or whatever you'd want to call it. They got very little critical scrutiny, really, in my mind. Again, Obama officials, intel officials, when asked, typically placed Iran above Russia in terms of national security threats. And yet this was the country that we made probably the largest deal with in terms of, money and influence under the Obama administration.
Well, what's his motive? I mean, no one knows if he's getting any kickbacks or anything, but isn't his son-in-law Iranian?
I have no idea. Sorry, I don't know. I haven't studied this issue.
Yeah, there's a good chapter about John Kerry's relations and their business dealings with Iran in Peter Schweitzer's new book, Secret Empires, for those interested in delving more into John Kerry's interests outside of the geopolitical security concerns of America. Cheryl, I wanted to move on and ask you about another topic area where there doesn't seem to be a lot of inquisitive minds in the D.C. press corps, and that's with respect to the Mueller investigation. It takes a federal district court judge to say, come on, man, when it comes to how Mueller is operating with unfettered power. At least that's a concern that Judge Ellis voiced. That's not a concern or even a question that's been asked of Mueller by anybody in the D.C. press corps that I've noted.
That's true. And I haven't, again, I don't have sources inside the Mueller investigation, so I've been hesitant to offer much criticism because I'd like to assume he's doing an aggressive and fair investigation. But I think when a court steps up who's looking at evidence and actually litigating some of this, and when the court says such things, I think it's good to have that sort of oversight because you're right, the same questions aren't being asked in general by a lot of the press. The leaks are fairly one-sided. A lot of false information is being leaked out, but when it comes out, whether true or false, it's typically against one side and not the other. So it is good to think that the courts may be, having a balancing and fairness effect as needed.
Do you think that there's been any chastening within the D.C. press corps about being advocates for a particular position, namely the demise of the Trump administration and Trump's presidency? Do you think there's been any reconsideration of their hysteria in the wake of his election and the approach they've taken to coverage of this Mueller investigation?
Well, no, because I think, as I've written about, the press corps has changed in tone and tenor and purpose over the years, whereby it's left the idea behind in many respects that it should be reflecting, ordinary Americans' opinions, both sides of issues, and getting at the truth. And it's been replaced by a lot of politically minded pundits and operatives and people who think that their goal is instead not to reach the truth, but to forward a certain narrative. So they're very happy that they're accomplishing their goal in some cases of forwarding certain narratives. But one thing that confuses them, I think, is to see, there was a poll I tweeted out from, I believe it was Reuters, that showed the president's numbers improving despite the height of the publicity against him in many different ways, including some information that's true and some information that's false. And yet, how can his popularity be increasing and the margin of Democrats' advantage coming up in the election being at its smallest point to date, according to this poll? Well, the pollsters actually put out a note saying, we think this is an outlier. It can't be true.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because it mirrors what Associated Press and what Rasmussen also found. But they can't really seem to figure out why, if they're so successfully controlling the narrative. I would say maybe 85% negative on the president and 15% not on typical, news if you look across the spectrum on TV. They can't understand how he could be increasing in popularity, just like they can't understand with nearly 100% of the media saying he couldn't be elected president. He got elected president anyway. So they still can't figure it out. I'll say we still can't figure it out because I'm in the media too. And I don't think they're any closer to understanding this phenomenon that the American people, what it is they really see, what it is they really want, and how they're starting to feel about the media.
This is the Pauline Kael phenomenon, right? The New Yorker film critic who famously said after the Nixon election in 1972, where he won 49 states, I can't believe Nixon won. I don't know anyone who voted for him. I mean, so it spoke more to her than it did, obviously, to what was going on in the country.
Well, so I've been out lately in Middle America doing shoots, and I always listen to the taxi drivers and the Verizon guy when he comes to my house in the summer. And lately, especially the past, I would say 3 months or so, whether they are, blue-collar, African-Americans, women, Democrats, I'm hearing a lot of positive chatter about the president. And that has not to be mistaken for my personal opinion when I express that. People say, oh, you're supporting Trump. I'm like, I'm reflecting what I'm hearing. And this was very much like what I heard before the 2016 election. Everywhere I went, people did like Trump, although nobody in the media liked Trump, or there was very little reflection of that in the popular media. I'm sensing that again.
President Trump, his newest hire, Rudy Giuliani, do you think he's helping the president or hurting him at this point?
I hate to not answer your questions, and I'm sorry. I'm just not qualified to say that and haven't really dug into that. I don't have, I'm not a political reporter. I don't really have an opinion on that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a mixed bag over the last 72 hours, but
he needs to stop with his media blitz.
Trump's happy, at least according to Rudy. Trump's happy. Let me ask you this. There was another story about Hillary Clinton last week that wasn't a story. I mean, here it was, but most of the D.C. outlets, again, that we're talking about, it wasn't. And I understand all the Mueller stuff, and there's competing interests to cover. But it was rather remarkable that she said, when asked the question of whether being a capitalist hurt her in the Democrat primary, she said, she wasn't sure, probably because 41% of Iowa caucus goers identify as socialists. There seems to be a story that has been unwritten about the changing ideological nature of the Democrat Party that Hillary Clinton sort of stumbled into with her answer. I think that's a big deal, and it was attendant to last week's kind of hagiographic reflections on Karl Marx's 200th birthday in the LA Times and the New York Times and elsewhere.
Well, I think, and even from a broader standpoint, as I've traveled to different places around the world in the past year, I hear this comment or complaint from foreign residents as well, that particularly their young people, this is according to some of the older people and politicians, have not learned properly about, in their mind, what socialism and communism really is and really does, and that the younger people today around the world, not just here, have come to sort of idolize or fantasize about this, great thing that could be, or that socialism or communism they believe is. And I don't know if it's what's being taught at the primary school level and on up. I'm not sure where that's coming from, but I do think it's a phenomenon, and not just here in this country.
She is Cheryl Atkinson, investigative journalist extraordinaire, author of the book The Smear: How Shady Political Operatives and Fake News Control What You See, What You Think, and How You Vote. Cheryl, thanks so much for joining us again. Appreciate your time.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you. I was 0 for 2. I didn't want to go 0 for 3 for questions not being answered.
Well, that's because you ask opinions of a journalist, and as a former journalist, you should know better, and you should be properly embarrassed, and you're going to be silenced for the rest of the show as punishment.
She joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
People have long associated the Ozinga name with concrete, but truth be told, Ozinga has always been on a quest to create a better world. We want to help you build your business so you can provide for your family, create better jobs, and build your community. It's why we constantly engineer better concrete, haul raw materials, and supply cleaner fuel. Together, we can positively impact the places where we live, work, and play throughout the Chicagoland area. To learn more, go to ozinga.com. That's OZINGA.com.
So, you're a truck driver, a clutch cowboy, a wrangler of the road. At Ozinga, you are exactly who we need. Concrete truck drivers. People who aren't afraid of a little adventure and hard work. If you're tired of monotony and are looking to build something that matters, then come build with us. At Ozinga, we are building our families, our communities, and our country. Apply online today at ozinga.com. That's OZINGA.com.
You may do this read, but then you must disrobe and begin your walk of atonement.
Excuse me. Homeowners often say their basement only leaks when it rains. Well, you don't worry about your living room getting wet, do you? Then why do you want to worry about your basement? Permaseal believes that your basement should be dry all of the time, no matter how hard it rains. That's right. You can have a permanently dry basement. Give Permaseal a call at 1-800-421-SEAL, SEAL. They offer a free estimate and transferable warranties, so you can rest assured you're getting the best value. Back in 1979, Roy Spencer started Permaseal, and it's still a local Chicagoland business whose purpose is to make the world a better place, one basement or crawl space at a time. Your basement is already dry some of the time, but if you want it dry all of the time, you know who to call. Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. That's 800-421-7325, or go to permaseal.net.
Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that use Balance of Nature as well.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. I take Balance of Nature because I know, I've seen it in my lab, and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
If you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, your dental health. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You hear a lot of people screaming at you about dental implants. Get it done in a day, or we can treat everybody, or hundreds of thousands of implants. Look, successful implants don't come from an implant factory. What you don't hear talked about is skill, treatment, and installation. These are what make for successful lifelong implants. And that's why you need to see Dr. Norouzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Norouzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants. You need the experience, skill, and honesty that 24 years of dental implants brings.
This is Dr. Norouzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics, 630-232-7400, 630-232-7400, or just remember, implantsforme.com, implantsforme.com.
Illinois deserves an honest analysis of the problems facing our state. Avoid the spin from the mainstream media and Springfield insiders by tuning in to Illinois Rising every Sunday at 3 p.m. AM 560's Dan Proft and the Illinois Policy Institute tackle the policy and political issues that matter most and discuss possible solutions. So if you're sick of the status quo, then be sure to listen to Illinois Rising this Sunday at 3 p.m. on AM 560. The Answer.
Your local 1-hour heating and air conditioning knows how miserable it feels when your AC goes out. You want it fixed fast, fixed right, and get a fast quote. Unlike some companies, we don't give you a quote until we actually see what the problem is. Then we'll give you our straightforward price and always stand by our work. Right now, get savings on any AC repair. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
AM 560. The Answer.
Did you watch Saturday Night Live?
No.
There was a surprise.
Yeah,
There's a
I
cameo.
saw it.
Stormy Daniels playing herself.
Stormy, this is Michael Cohen. Are you alone?
Yes?
And what are you wearing?
Excuse me?
On a three-way call.
Okay, Michael, I can take it from here. Okay, but as your attorney, I highly advise against you. So what up, girl?
Hello, Donald.
Come on, Stormy, stop making such a big deal about this. Everyone knows it's just an act.
I work in adult films. We're not really known for our acting.
Just tell me, what do you need for this to all go away?
A resignation?
Yeah, right. Being president is like doing porn. Once you do it, it's hard to do anything else. Besides, my poll numbers are finally up. And speaking of polls being up.
Not funny.
The one thing that Stormy Daniels' cameo proved is that she's a prostitute.
Oh, really? But what about Shark Week?
Oh, come on, we'll always have Shark Week. I solved North and South Korea. Why can't I solve us?
Sorry, Donald, it's too late for that. I know you don't believe in climate change, but a storm's a-coming, baby.
It's just children.
And sometimes she looks good, and then other times she wasn't. Anyway, the best part of the Saturday Night Live cold open was when they joked around with Ivanka and Jared Kushner. This is great. Jimmy Fallon is playing Jared Kushner.
Hi, hello! Michael, did we hear Giuliani call Jared disposable on national television? Because Jared is furious.
Yeah, man, like, what the hell? I'm so mad right now. You don't even want to see me. I mean, I could cut a bitch. Don't even try to comfort me.
Listen, Ivanka, you know your dad would do anything to protect you, but if he needs to, he'd throw Jared under the bus in a heartbeat.
What did he say?
He said you're fine.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
We first identified Jared properly as the reincarnation, even though he's not dead, of Emo Phillips, Downers Grove's very own. Let's see, hear Fallon do Jared, and then hear Emo.
From America, and the economy's having problems. We have a $200 billion a year budget deficit. And my advice to President Bush, don't worry about it. What's going to happen is Japan going to come over and say, hey, Uncle Sam, we want the money. We'll say we don't have it. They'll say you don't have it. What did you spend the $200 billion on? And we'll say, well, these nuclear warheads. And they'll say, well, we don't need it right away.
Yeah. So Jimmy Fallon is copycatting us.
Guess what Jared Kushner's working on now? Remember they sent him to the Middle East. They tried to get him involved in those peace process. He's now into prison reform plans. He's got a big initiative going. Good luck to him.
Today, don't forget, teachers, educators, administrators, free entree at Chick-fil-A, part of their Hometown Heroes program, all 26 Chicagoland stores. So you want to take advantage of that. Amy, you can try and impersonate one as a coach. Wear your Blaine gear.
I'm a volunteer coach. Can I get a Chick-fil-A sandwich? Thanks so much for making us part of your morning. Thanks to Justin Kosick, our technical producer, Quinn McCarthy, associate producer, and executive producer extraordinaire, Keith Conrad. Now let's go into the newsroom, check up and check in with Mike Scott.
Former Chicago alderman dies. We'll tell you who and have details on that developing story. And Aurora